Hello, 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 and welcome to yet another Q&A Thursday here at the Rag Company YouTube channel, where I'm your host, Dane Hennen, and to my left, we got Lucas Blaine in the house. That's right, Mr. Customer Service himself.
Thanks for having me, Dane.
Graced us with his presence here to do a little customer service, forward-facing.
Indeed.
And how is that, by the way? How do you enjoy doing that?
Oh, I just love speaking to all of our customers. All you guys are great. Don't give me too much of a hard time, and
That's good.
I enjoy talking to the customers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, appreciate it. So he's going to help us with some awesome product-oriented questions, as well as, technique stuff. You actually run a detail business as well, so you keep yourself busy. And he knows what he's talking about, so he's a good resource. Now, behind us, you may notice a couple of fine Fords. We got a Raptor on one side and a Bronco on the other. Anthony, can you tell us about this Raptor and what you're going to be doing to it today?
Well, thank you, Dane. Yeah, today's video is sponsored by Ford Performance.
It's not, though.
It's not, actually. It's sponsored by us here at the Rag Company. And you know what? We actually do have some friends here joining us. So we actually have G-Technic in the house, which are here with Gabby. She's behind the camera. She's somewhere there, but you can kind of see her waving. So she is here with her Bronco, and they are actually going through and doing a full decon, a full wash, a polish, as well as a coat, and they're going to be coating that with Crystal Serum Ultra here in just a little bit. So they got that going on in that corner, so it's pretty cool. We love having G-Technic here. And then myself, I'm actually going to be doing a wash featuring a couple of the products that we feature at TRCMA. And so I know there's been a lot of questions and a lot of people wondering what's going on with Optimum version 6, Optimum O&R version 6. And so today we're going to be kind of going through like a multiple wash process. My truck is absolutely filthy. It's been rained on for the past couple weeks now since TRCMA. So we're going to be going through using Optimum Touchless Decon Wash, doing a touchless wash there. Then we're going to be following that up with O&R version 6 and doing a rinseless wash. Then really cleaning it up, drying it, and maybe throwing on a little bit of Armor Adapt here as our drying aid, using this being their waterless wash. So yeah, pretty exciting. I'm excited to do this. I'm excited to not be sitting in those death chairs that are beyond uncomfortable. I will not, you cannot contain me in that chair.
Man.
It is horrible. It's very uncomfortable.
It doesn't matter what chair I pick, he just ends up hating him anyway.
No, they are wrong.
Just put him in a Viper chair for a couple hours.
Yeah, that's the solution.
So what's going to be cool is we're going to be kind of doing, again, kind of a live wash and talk Q&A. So feel free to ask questions. I can answer them as I go along. I think most people are going to want to know feedback on O&R version 6, especially now that it's on my own vehicle, right? It's in a less stressful time. We're outside of TRCMA, and this will actually be my first time using version 6 outside of TRCMA, especially doing like a full car and not just like a part of a hood or a fender. So I'll be able to give you guys some pretty good feedback as we go along there. But yeah, for the most part, I'm just going to be working. Feel free to ask questions. G-Technics are going to be over here working as well. If there's any G-Technic related questions, it might be a good time to ask those as well, so I can pull on little Carson over here just to give me some good answers. So that's what we got going on.
All right, thank you, Anthony. And as we did last week when we were previewing some other new products that showed up at TRCMA, we're going to be focusing more visually on the work that Anthony is doing back there. However, Lucas and I are going to be answering the questions just over the footage of what's going on back there. So you may not see Lucas and I as much, but you'll definitely hear us.
Oh, yeah.
Moving beyond that, they will be shooting some G-Tech videos over in the corner. So if you hear some voices in the background, that's normal. That's just, part of the ambiance today.
Exactly.
And that is okay. So let's get to these comments. I'm going to pull up Shelby's here first, since she was the first one to pop in today. Shelby is saying, happy Friday Eve. We'll be coating our F-150 with CSL and XOV5 this weekend. What are some tips and things to avoid? Plan is to decon, clay towel, and of course panel wipe prior. Won't be doing any correction. So she means paint correction, that's polishing for those who are new here. Yeah, you want to weigh in on that, or just saying, hey?
Yeah, so if you're not doing any correction, the only other thing that I would recommend, I would just probably do panel wipe, maybe even go over it twice, just to ensure that there's really nothing on there and that it's fully decontaminated, so that you are ready to throw down the coating. And then other than that, just wipe on, wipe off. CSL XO is pretty easy coating to work with, so you shouldn't have to deal with any sort of shouldn't have any high spots unless you just miss a spot with the towel. So other than that, just wipe on, wipe off, keep going. You should be able to bang out the whole thing pretty quickly.
Nice. All right. Well, hopefully that helps you out, Shelby. And in the meantime, you can watch Anthony do a little work on this F-150 here. Although it might be insulted. It wants to be identified as a Raptor. Tamra, of course. It wouldn't be a Lucas show without Tamra popping up.
Hey, Tamra.
Saying, hello, and yay.
How's it going?
Lucas. And then next up, we've got Joey Belinsky. Joey says, well, actually, Lucas, you read this one.
What's up, fellas? Lucas is easily one of my favorite people at TRC. I agree. That dude's pretty cool. You other dudes are cool too, though. Been using O&R V6, and the gloss is immediately noticeable. Awesome stuff. Love to hear it. It was great meeting you, Joey, and I got to say, hopefully no one else is listening, but you're one of my favorite Grand Ambassadors.
See, man.
So, great meeting you.
Joey has that effect on people. He's a lovable guy.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't you think?
Whoa. He's just shouting out this cool guy, Lucas, from customer
favoritism,
service.
Okay? Coming from internally, we don't do that.
No, we do.
Oh, man.
Love you, Joey.
All right, next up, we got Dan Pfeiffer giving us a word up. What's he saying, Lucas?
Good afternoon and word up from a rainy Minnesota, USA. Happy Good Friday Eve, TRC gang. Looking forward to the Q&A today.
Welcome, Dan. Happy to have you here. And Joey saying, if you know, you know. Corbin, party of 7. Oh, man, going to speakeasies with those guys got a little crazy. One shall remain nameless. Lucas, you're the guest host today. I want you to give our nameless friend here a name.
Nameless. I'm pretty sure he's got a name. Reginald says, good afternoon and happy Friday, Junior TRC family from the sunny south coast of Massachusetts. Lucas finally back on the Q&A we missed. I'm here, live in the flesh.
Oh, look at this. Sending more love your way, Lucas.
Tamara Chase, we should have Lucas come visit us in the Northeast. I'd love to visit the Northeast. Sounds like a good time.
You're just getting all the love today, Lucas.
Look at that,
dude.
Just keep gassing me up.
Yeah. You're going to come back here every week now.
That would be awesome if Lucas could come visit here in New England. I'd give him a big hug. I'd reciprocate the hug back to you, Tamara.
One of my favorite business names, Wheelie Good Auto Detailing, saying good afternoon,
That's
everyone.
so good.
That's really good. Love it. It's Wheelie Good. Okay. Tamara.
I'm going to trademark it.
Saying hello to the others. Let's keep it going. We got Hans Closen popping in, saying, let's go, people. Gosh, or was it Josh? You know? Let's leave it at that. ProShine Solutions. What's up, TRC fam? Right back at you. And a whole lot of hellos. Let me get through some of these. Nothing better than a Friday Eve and a live TRC session. That's right, Kevin. Couldn't agree more. And, Travis Aldridge. Been a new commenter around here lately. Love seeing Travis pop in. When will the new M22 drying towels be available? Fellas, what can you tell me? Any updates?
Shoot, I got no info. Hey, Anthony.
So I'll answer that.
Yep.
So M22 is going to be probably dropping closer to the beginning of May. So that and the Slim Dry are going to be dropping around the same time, but I'd be looking forward to kind of early May to mid-May that M22 should be available.
All right. You heard it from Anthony here first. Then I got Al here, Superado, saying hello from sunny North Georgia. Welcome, sir. Wheelie Good Auto Detailing says, is KCX RRW considered a polymer-based or surfactant-based rinseless?
I think, if I'm correct, it's a surfactant-based rinseless.
Soapy, Anthony? Or is it polymer-y?
No, it is polymer-based.
Ah, I was wrong.
There you go.
Sue me.
Bam. Then David Boyce, always vocal. Love seeing him in these chats, saying shout out to Lucas.
Appreciate you, David.
More of that Lucas love you've come to know and expect here at Q&A.
Dang right.
Reginald, is there really such a thing as a fine Ford? I would consider the Ford GT to be a pretty fine Ford.
It is a pretty fine Ford. Or the 1999 New Edge Mustang GT. Those things are pretty sweet.
David Boyce also wondering, IK2 E-Foamer, has it come in yet?
Not yet.
I know.
We have them on order. We are waiting for them to arrive.
It's hard when you build up anticipation and then you're stuck with like delays.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's outside of our control.
It's not our fault, guys.
Yeah, man. Like
we're trying.
We want it just as bad as you do. All right, XXM Ghost, always happy to see you here, saying let's do this. I agree. Next up, we've got page 1, kicking it over, and Hans Closen, wondering how all-day back pain Anthony's back is doing.
How's my back doing?
Yeah, how's your all-day back pain?
It's getting better day by day. It's just a very slow process for me for some reason. I have no idea why, but I'm doing more every day than I used to be able to do, so that's pretty sweet. So I'm pretty stoked on that. was actually been 1 year since I found out what I ended up having, and then when I couldn't walk or couldn't sit for like, it's been 1 year since the start of that, you know, kind of horrible thing. So, so I think I've come a decent way since doing that, right? So
good to hear.
Next up, you know, deadlifting Dane is what I'd like to do. I'd like to put straps around him, grab one by kind of like his chest area, one by his belt, and then just, you know, deadlift him.
That just like I'm a sack of potatoes.
Like you're.
I heard your first powerlift meetings this
exactly.
weekend, correct?
Uh-oh.
Actually, Glenn's in the control room. I think Glenn's probably hearing this as a challenge, and I wonder if she would be interested in
definitely
deadlifting
don't need
Dane.
any challenges.
Oh, Glenn said she confirmed that she would do
compete.
it.
She did confirm.
Yeah, Glenn will do it.
Yeah, no, Glenn will destroy if you throw a challenge down. Yeah, absolutely. All right, we got Dave Preston here saying Lucas is an excellent customer service rep for TRC and needs to be on these podcasts a lot more.
Appreciate you, Dave.
More
I agree.
love from Dave. Thank you, Dave. I
That dude's
agree.
awesome
Lucas,
at
he
customer
is
service.
Excellent. Then Reginald here. Anthony, you are allowed to call a truck filthy when you need Mudbuster for the pre-wash. Right, he's laying down.
We need to get a Jimmy
rules.
cam to show how dirty that thing
I
is.
know,
You know what
right?
I mean?
Like, if you were up close, that color, once again, it's hard on camera. The color hides.
It's always
It
hard
hides
for
how
any
dirty
car.
it is. Some owners like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, just so you're aware, it's doing what it can. Joey, how much did you enjoy the creamsicle soaked towel we left in your cup holder? Anthony,
Yeah.
you had a creamsicle soaked towel that Joey left in your cup holder?
Yeah, I took that out.
Okay.
So the reason for that is, so just for reference here, this is a crazy thing, but you have to understand, when you have any type of spray scent, it doesn't matter if it's the PNS line, doesn't matter if it's a Chemical Guy spray scent, could be a Masterson's Car Care spray scent, whatever scents that are sprayed, you want to avoid getting that type of spray on any plastics at all whatsoever, right? Well, it doesn't even matter if it's the inside of a cup holder, it doesn't really matter if it's the outside of a cup holder, but like that on a towel, wet, right, could potentially, with sun exposure, heat, could cause a chemical reaction, which would in result stain or damage any type of plastic. And it's usually due to the fragrance oils is usually what's the cause for that. So that's why when we kind of tell people with any of the spray scents offerings that we have, you don't ever really want to be spraying them directly onto plastics. You want to be focused on carpet areas or any type of textile areas because that's going to be safe to do. And if you can't do that, then you do spray it into a towel, you fold the towel up, and then you tuck the towel somewhere where it doesn't have direct contact onto plastic. But Joey, placing that in my cup holder, yeah, most people wouldn't be crazy about the inside of their cup holders. I am crazy.
You just happen to pick somebody
It's
who
unpure. I don't want it touching that.
has an
Now, if it was
affliction.
under my seat, it would have stayed, but then I had to remove it, and then I had to physically clean the cup holder as a
man.
paranoia thing, because, again, I'm crazy.
That much is certain. All right, we got Reginald here. Once again, Anthony, you're only allowed to call a truck filthy when you need Mudbuster for the pre-wash. All right, then we got more here, back and forth. What? Brian says, why did the wheel blush, Dane? Oh, no, I don't even know what he's getting at here. What? Mike G. Detailing. Hey, all. Hey,
Howdy, Mike.
Mike. And Joey says, I guess I'll put my green hoodie on. I missed the memo. Yeah, that's right.
I guess we are matching.
Yeah.
Got a bunch of green hoodies out here.
Except for me. I decided to go with a Dixon today.
I was trying to match the Raptor for the Ford in the
Brian
back.
says, because it saw tire dressing. Oh, man, these dad jokes. These dad jokes are out of control. DIY with Kane. Happy Thursday, TRC. Minnesota in the house.
Love Minnesota.
What's Exodus saying
I want to get
here?
back out there again.
What you got, Lucas?
Anthony is the Matt Mormon of TRC chairs, apparently.
Ooh.
Hey, get us some Anthony spec chairs.
All right. Yeah. If Matt picked our chairs, I wonder how we'd end up. Some very, very expensive chairs.
10K later.
That's per chair. That's not for the set.
Right.
All right. Travis Aldridge. I ordered some of the blue collar towels. What weave are they and your preferred use for them?
Blue collar, I haven't used them a whole lot, so I honestly can't really speak to my preferred use on them, but I do know that they are just a terry weave towel. I believe they are dual pile with a suede edge. Are they suede edge border?
Yeah, they're meant to be like a bang for buck towel.
Yeah.
Like you get a good kind of plush towel, but nothing like on the crazier higher end of the spectrum. It's
Right.
meant to kind of be, it's called the blue collar for a reason. It's kind of more rough and tumble, but it's supposed to be able to do some of the nicer jobs.
Yeah.
Just at a friendlier price point.
It's your nicer premium all-purpose towel. That's what I'll leave it at.
Yeah, no, that's a good fit for it. And then Kevin here, I'm loving this format of washing, plus a couple of hosts getting the comments. Anthony is washing one of my dream vehicles in the perfect color.
The color is pretty sweet.
Yeah, no, it looks great in person. Anthony, you got a nice compliment on the Raptor there.
Did I? From who?
From Kevin.
Oh, thanks, Kevin. You're
Says
awesome.
it's a dream vehicle of his and that it's in the perfect color.
I think this color is pretty awesome. I'm all about
He does
it.
like it a
I
lot.
do dig the color.
Hans, look at the best customer support. Giant is back at it again. Man,
Dang right.
you're getting nothing but love today.
Keep gassing me up, guys.
Do you recommend using Absolute Rinseless Wash as a glass cleaner or a specific glass cleaner? So he's wondering, like, use Absolute in a pinch, or do you use a specific glass cleaner when you're cleaning glass? Which is the move?
Me personally, so you can absolutely use no pun intended, you can use Absolute Rinseless Wash as a glass cleaner. I would just dilute it a little bit more just to make it a little bit stronger, or you could even use it at 256 to 1. I've been using Built Hamber Traceless a lot.
Ooh, that stuff is nice.
Oh my gosh, that stuff is crazy.
Stuff is very nice. Yes. So the answer is you can go either way, Hector. I mean, if you got the product around, the end result, all you really need to care about is that the glass is clean at the
Yeah.
end. It's how you
And
get there. The
realistically-
journey is up to you.
In most cases, you can probably just do your rinseless wash as normal, and then with Absolute or whatever rinseless wash you're using, and during your drying process, your glass should just end up clean. Like,
I would also argue that as important as getting a good glass cleaning product is, using a rinseless wash, something like that, you can go a lot of different ways product-wise. But when it comes to what towel you use with it, that's going to determine how well
Right.
you finish on the glass too. So just because you have a good glass cleaner, but you're using like just a regular terry or something towel, it's not going to give you the best finish. I would definitely recommend going more the twist loop direction like an FTW, or I know not everybody's a fan of them, but like the kind of herringbone weave glass, like premium glass towels. I like those, but I feel like I'm the only one sometimes because people don't like them because they're grabby, because they touch too much of the surface at once. But that's the trade-off. They have like crazy cleaning power. They do an amazing job on the pass, but some people just don't want to feel like they're fighting the friction. You
Right.
know? So I get it. There's different ways to make it work. But yeah, the towel is very important in that
different
scenario.
strokes for different folks, you know?
That's right. Hans says Lucas is the new 900-year Levi.
No, I don't have that kind of
Oh, man.
reputability yet.
Okay, they gassed you up too much. Frank, finally, Anthony's Raptor.
Indeed.
We're doing it.
Frank is a fan of the Raptor. Wheelie Good Auto Detailing. What's he saying?
Thanks for the love on the business name. I'm a middle school English teacher by day, so I had to throw some wordplay into the business name. No,
All right,
you did
you're my
great.
kind of guy. Wordplay, yeah.
I love that name.
Yeah, love it. And, bless you for teaching, because I know that can be a challenging job. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Educators are important. All right, then we got Eduardo here. How is it going, TRC crew? Greetings from not so sunny San Diego, California.
Not so
It's
sunny in
really sunny
California.
here. San Diego, I picture as just being permanently sunny.
Yeah, I thought you guys were
It's
like in
always
permanent
sunny.
paradise or whatever.
What's going on, Eduardo? Let's see. Hippolito Campos here saying, greetings. Do you recommend any type of back protection when detailers do wheels or lower parts of the car? For example, like back belts or lumbar support, maybe something like weightlifters use.
I honestly don't use anything. I think I'm blessed to be young enough right now that I don't have to worry about that
you're
too
in a good
much.
spot. But I feel like this is a question definitely for our man back there detailing right now. Anthony,
Dude,
this
I don't
question
know.
has you written all over it.
I think realistically, I think you should probably stretch. I think you should probably focus on doing some like flexibility things before like jumping into it, so that way you don't hurt yourself. Buckets, if you can avoid picking up a bucket out of a sink, that way that's got 5 gallons in it, probably figure out a way to do that. Fill it up on the ground. That's really it. I mean, you need to be flexible. You need to be able to bend. You need to be able to twist. You need to be able to do all that kind of stuff. But I think that if you're already finding that you're uncomfortable or you feel like something bad is going to happen, then I'd probably start working on preventative things right now before and after washing to be able to address that. And yeah, go from there.
Yeah, make sure there's enough calcium in your diet. Lift with your knees.
Drink your milk.
All those things. Drink your milk. And if you don't drink milk, find something else with vitamin D and calcium.
If you don't like milk, you're crazy.
Yeah, you can always take supplements and stuff if that works for you. But, yeah, no, just being thoughtful. But he's right. I mean, stretching, people might kind of, say, I don't need that. But truly, it does help.
Yeah.
And as a bigger guy, let me tell you, when you get bigger, it's worth it. Eduardo here saying, I recently left my Tacoma without washing it for a whole month due to a torn ACL. But I noticed that there's some like raised black spots that look like barnacles. Any idea what would remove them?
Raised black spots that look like barnacles.
So they look like barnacles. That's a pretty extreme visual there because barnacles stick out quite a lot. I mean,
I'd have to see that.
They're tall. They're like a centimeter tall.
But honestly, I mean, if it's just heavily contaminated, I'd just give it a good wash. Maybe hit it with a clay towel or a clay scrubber, whatever your preferred clay media is. And that, I would imagine that should take off most of that contamination. Honestly, I don't really know what that could be, but I would just try a clay, maybe a Decon.
And it's not like a form of mold or some kind of growth happening on the surface. Like, what? I'm wondering.
Yeah, I'd be curious.
What's going on there? Because if it wasn't washed, did you leave it outside? Is the car like
is
outside,
under a tree? Is
so,
it like
Eduardo, can you
maybe?
fill us in on some of the details about like the placement of the car, what sort of climate you're in, those things, and that might help too. Yeah. Hans here. Hans saying, "I'll pay for a deadlift Dane session." Oh no, we don't need to be encouraging that. He says for 500 likes. Okay,
500
well,
likes.
If you can get 500 likes on this Q&A, I suppose I can't stop you. Johnny Palma, for drying, which would be best between the Liquidator and the Gauntlet?
Honestly, personal preference.
It is.
Me, I'm a big Liquidator guy, so I'd go Liquidator.
People get mad when they hear personal preference because they're like, just tell me. But the reality is, like, it really is personal preference.
Yeah.
Anthony back there, he likes the Liquidator just fine. I love the Liquidator. He likes the Gauntlet even better.
Yeah.
I might be putting words in his mouth, but I feel like every time I've seen it, Anthony loves the Gauntlet.
And for me, I like the Liquidator.
Yeah.
And I talk to customers all the time of like, oh, you guys got all these different options. Like, why do you have so many towels? Because it's personal preference.
Because
everybody
if you
likes
gave
different things.
somebody both towels, they would at some point show favoritism towards one of them.
Yeah.
Whichever one they keep like grabbing over and over, and the other one kind of maybe gets second billing, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But it really does come down to the person, and at the end, once again, your result should just be a dry vehicle.
Exactly.
However you get there, that's up to you. But we each have our favorites. So I'm going to say for somebody who's never used any kind of nice drying towel before, I would steer them towards a Liquidator first, probably like a twist loop style towel.
Yeah.
Just as kind of an introduction to what like really good drying towels are like. And then the Gauntlet, maybe treat it like a more advanced kind of thing, because it's also a twist loop in a sense, but it's different in how they approach it. So
Slightly different weeds.
And Liquidator, they're both well priced, but the Liquidator is good bang for buck. And it comes in several sizes.
Yeah.
But so does the Gauntlet. Once again, tricky. Joey, I wanted Glenn to bench press me. There's always next year, I guess.
I bet you she could.
All right. Then we've got John Penta. What's he saying?
If I washed my car and the next day it rained, so now it has rain box on
He
it.
means rain spots.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. It has rain spots on it. Can I use bead maker right over it without washing the car again? I mean, it just depends on if you want to address the rain spots or not. Maybe even try like a little water spot remover first, just to see if that kind of helps take off like the surface mineral contamination and whatnot. But other than that, you should be totally fine. Just give it a good wash, get off the dirty rain, and you'll be fine.
That makes sense. Then let's see. Oh no, Hans, I don't think you can say that.
Is Lucas happy, or is he hiding a big gun under his shirt?
I don't think.
Dude, I was trying to address this. It's these types of jackets, man.
Hoodies do that, man.
The hoodie's gonna have to come off.
For the people who listen to this as a podcast later, you're just gonna have to wonder what he meant by that.
Yeah, I'll keep my arms crossed and keep it flat. You know what I'm saying?
Then Hans says, "Back pain, back again," and 3, 2, 1. Oh, hey, look at that. Chromatic Garage. I love Chromatic Garage. Chromatic is one of our early Grandambassadors. That guy is awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
He has a really good taste in cars and video production. I love his style.
Love
He's
that.
got so much style. Anthony's windshield cowl looks like it could use some trim plus.
Dude, I want to try that stuff. I watched their demo on it, and that stuff looks legit.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people watched that demo and went, yeah, so when can I get my hands on that?
Yeah, sign me up. Bradley DJ, if you're watching,
Definitely.
send me a bottle.
All right, Reginald. What's Reginald saying here?
I got a pack of blue collar in my TRCMA order yesterday. I have no idea what I'm going to use them for yet, but for the price, I had to get them.
That's how
They
the
are
blue
on a
collar gets you,
pretty
man.
good sale right now,
They're a
so I
great
don't
color.
blame you.
Yeah, you'll find pretty versatile.
Use them for whatever you want.
Yeah. Details Official built Hamber Traceless is
So good.
fire.
That stuff is...
Agreed.
That's been one of the products over the past year that has
Very
actually like
satisfying.
gotten me like really excited. Like that stuff is... I've ordered many liters.
You just keep going back to it.
I have to. It's so good.
Reginald again. I used Absolute today on glass that I have Reflect on. Coming out clean, no streaks, and slick.
Heck yeah.
You know, that's a nice thing when chemistry and the lineup plays nice together.
Exactly.
I like to see that. I
Reflect
always
does
like
make the
to see
glass
that.
much easier to clean over time
Yeah.
as well.
No, I speaking of other glass products, Reflect was an awesome one
Yeah.
to try. Like when we had the thing where I detailed for once, where I did my flex in the background there, I was using Reflect and I hadn't used it before, so I just first impressions and immediately like, oh,
Yeah, that
okay,
flip,
this is pretty
real
sick
nice.
when you flip it. Yeah,
Really quick.
yeah. What you got?
Comment. So I'm about to lay down the Optimum Touchless. So at this point in time, I just went through and I actually laid down some of the ADS iron remover. And I did that just because I was starting to get some orange spots just kind of periodically around the truck. That's the one thing about having a light colored vehicle, is that you're going to see a lot of that little rust deposits and little buildup that's going to happen and kind of embed itself into the paint. So just sprayed a little bit of that on there and then went through and just kind of rinsed everything, knocked out the wheels, a little bit of ADS wheel cleaner. Didn't touch the tires because the tires are brand new. I'm not planning on dressing them. So we're just going to leave them go for right now. And when they do need to get cleaned, then I'll clean them. But these are going to be kind of a pain to do. So I've done that. So now we're going to lay down Optimum Touchless. Now the one weird part about Touchless is that I wouldn't say it's weird. My ratios were way off when basically my initial uses for this. So I was using probably roughly about 2 ounces in the foam cannon when I first started using Touchless. It actually says on the bottle to use 4 ounces. And Dr. G said, yeah, 4 ounces is when you're going to start getting a lot of that extra cleaning power, right, towards a true Touchless. So even in my first few experiences, and I love this product, I was using less than the actual recommended amount. So just go to, just note here, in a 32-ounce bottle, you're using roughly 4 ounces per wash in something like an MTM foam can with about 32 ounces of water or about a little over 100,000 milliliters inside here. So something to keep in mind. So 4 ounces is where you're going to get the impact for that. So that's going to be Touchless is what we're laying down right now. So
Sweet.
that's all.
And we'll keep the cameras on you while you work. We're just going to keep bringing up more comments and questions. All right, so taking a look over
That
to
stuff's
page
putting on
1
a show
here.
right now.
What's that, Lucas?
That foam's putting on a show right now.
Oh, yeah. Now that stuff goes on really
liking that.
satisfyingly. That looks great.
I use the standard waffle weave today, but also works well with DMR and FTW.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You
All
know,
those are going to be great
that
options.
is kind of one of those towels that these days may get a little forgotten, the Dry Me River, but they're just as good as they ever were.
Honestly, out of all, like when I talk to people in customer service, if they don't want to go to the FTW, because it is a little bit more of a premium,
Yeah,
a little bit
the
spendier
FTW
of a
is
towel.
definitely like the premier
DMR
choice.
would be my second choice, 100%.
Yeah. Dry Me River, excellent towels.
Yeah.
Gotta love a waffle wave. And that's a good move. All right, so back to page 2 here. I've got.
And if you're an OG fan, that's the OG spec glass cleaning towel.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Some of the day, Anthony. Thank you, Brian. All right, Joey Belinsky here saying, guys, I purchased OG drying aid from you. Please bear with me during this difficult time.
You're converting, man. I'm telling you. Over time, you're going to get there.
During the course of TRCMA, Joey went from entering the week as a Matty hater and an OG just like, oh, this guy, oh gosh, this guy. And then he met him, then they chatted, and, they found that They were actually
The best
sharing
friends.
similar interests and stuff, and they had a good time.
Exactly.
Even a little back and forth, because that's why people like watching when Anthony appears in videos of Matt. You don't watch him because you love to see him agree on everything.
Yeah.
No.
You like to see the banter.
The tension, the banter. It's
Exactly.
fun. So, yeah.
great.
I like to see that kind of brought to the fore, and people who are maybe used to seeing Matt just kind of dealing with people who, I'm not going to say afraid to tell him no, but sometimes maybe a little afraid to tell him no or think otherwise. He's not always challenged, but Anthony, man, he
No
just goes
fear.
right in there, and Matt takes that energy and he dishes it right back out, but it's friendly. It can be harsh, but it's still friendly. And I just love that vibe. All right, moving along, we've got Hans Closen. Do some yoga or Tai Chi to stay flexible. Although
There
the
you
way
go.
he spells it is flexible, so that keeps it interesting. Neil White. Happy Thursday, Dane, Anthony, and Lucas. Thank you, Neil.
Happy Thursday, Neil.
Much appreciated.
Hope you're
Guys,
having
let's
a good
get some
day.
more questions in here. I know you can manage. Love seeing you support your new bestie. Yes, that's right, Reginald. Target water keeps you healthy as well. He's talking about, was it deionized water?
Oh,
that
the
Sydney
distilled
loved at
water from
so much?
Target.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to put a rest to that joke. That's a
Oh,
bunch
good.
of BS.
There we
It's
go.
all the same. Just get the cheapest gallon you can find.
Just go to Winco.
Yeah,
Pick
come
up
on
the. I know somebody will claim it's different, but we've yet to see different results. Exodus. Go ahead, Lucas.
Can Anthony call out what he's using when he switches to a new product on the truck? What did he just spray on the lower part of the car?
And that was from 10 minutes ago. So.
Okay.
So that would have
Iron
been,
remover.
the Decon, the iron remover is what I used. And so right now I'm going through with Optimum Touchless. And so I sprayed Touchless on the entire vehicle and I'm letting that dwell. And while I'm letting that dwell, I'm going through the Detail Factory fender wheel brush. And I sprayed Touchless up into my fender wells because I'm using that as my main cleaner and lubricant. And I'm just agitating that right now with my brush while everything else dwells.
That works. Makes perfect sense. And yes, that was a good question, Exodus. Part of it was we just kill his mic when he's using the pressure washer because we don't want to blow your guys' eardrums out. But yeah, no, otherwise, Anthony is mic'd up, so he can definitely pop in on an as-needed basis. We got Neil here. Neil, I've found that food poisoning will definitely help with weight loss. It's not fun, but it works.
Don't recommend it. That's not fun.
Neil, that's kind of a cheat code, but everybody loses in that scenario. Loses, well, in case the weight is lost as well. Brian Hippolito, sitting on a dedicated stool to do the wheels one at a time, obsessed garage style, helps a lot.
I'm not going to lie. I've been doing that for the past little bit now, and it's
Yeah?
so nice. Just makes the whole process
Yeah.
more enjoyable.
You know, if you're not in a rush, you just do your thing.
Exactly.
Chill. Sit in the chair.
Just
roll
hanging
to
out.
the next one. Roll to the next
Have a
one.
couple drinks with the boys, you know?
Yeah, all right. And David Boyce, saying out loud what I suspected, but I suppose I should have said when I was wondering about those barnacles being talked about, raised black spots, it sounds like artillery fungus. I wondered. That's why I wanted to know about the conditions, because I thought, is he in a place that can get artillery
Never dealt with
fungus? Because, yeah, if you're talking about like barnacle type things, it's kind of what they look like, I guess, if you were to describe them. Teal 356. You mean 365, Reginald?
I'm with you.
That's okay, though. Yes, we are a fan of the Edgeless 365, and teal would be a fun color.
Sick color.
Yeah.
May or may not be my
you're on
company
the teal
colors,
brigade,
too, you know what I
huh? If it's not you, it's Sydney. If it's not Sydney, it's Joey. If it's
I'm here to keep it going.
We're always we've always got people who want teal around. Johnny Palma, I appreciate the answers. Thank you. I'll have to order some gauntlet towels to try them out. Yeah, Johnny, go for it. And yeah, you don't have to get every size. You just kind of pick what you think works for you. We recommend the smaller ones work well on wheels.
Yeah, you should buy every single size.
But, you know, customer service is going to tell you, buy everyone. And maybe we all have a vested interest in you guys buying as much as you possibly can. But, you know, at the same time, I want to be realistic here. Not everybody's going to need everything. You find what's right for you, and that's
no, in all
okay, too.
seriousness, I'd get some 12x12s for the wheels. Depending on the size of your car, maybe a 30x36. Just go big or go home, or go with a 20x30.
Yeah.
You'll like it.
Then I got DIY with Kane. What's he saying, Lucas?
Best way to prevent ceramic spray clogging drying towels is soaking and washing the only real resolve. Yes and no. So like putting them straight in the wash, that's just going to prevent it a little bit more. Doing the soak is going to be what actually pulls everything from the towels. This is actually a trick that I learned from Sydney, so shout out Sydney.
Nice.
Keeping a spray bottle of rags. Whoa. You know what I meant, but I didn't like that gesture. Keeping a spray bottle of rags to riches, put like 1 or 2 ounces and like 32 ounces, and just when I'm done, if I'm using a drying aid with any sort of protection, just spray it down real quick and you'll be good. That'll just prevent it from curing inside the fibers.
It's, an ounce of prevention goes a long way towards helping in the final result.
It's another preventative measure.
I do recall some people who would... Initially, there was some confusion where people were like, oh, just throw it in a bucket of water, but found that the bucket of water actually, the process kept going.
Yeah.
And so it didn't stop it.
Yeah.
So don't just throw it in a bucket of water. That's not...
Put some rags to riches
not going to solve it. Rags to riches will help start
golden.
breaking it down before it has a chance to fully,
Exactly.
seal
That's what it's
in.
designed to do.
Yeah.
So,
And worst case scenario, maybe you forgot this a few days later, you could still soak them. You could still do it that way.
Absolutely.
Rags to riches works really well at that. Alex Tour, better late than never, right?
Howdy,
That's
howdy,
right.
Alex.
Alex, we're just
Hope
happy
you're
for
having a good
you
day.
to be here. Right on, bud, says Joey. Yes, fellow co-host of the Detail Grind podcast. Eduardo here. Cars have been left in the driveway in the open, but then I did leave it under a tree a couple of times. It's not sap because it wasn't under a pine tree. I used active foam, but it didn't affect it. So maybe it is artoe fungus?
Honestly, I just don't have a ton of experience with that kind of contamination.
It's not common where we are, so it's not something we come across here in the very dry, high desert that we're in.
Anthony, you want to weigh in?
We'll wait for him to stop pressure washing for a moment. Hey, Anthony.
Yeah.
You want to weigh in on this one? Eduardo was having some issues. Some people like David Boyce were suspecting maybe it's artillery fungus or something. Eduardo described it as like barnacles, like hard black kind of raised spots on his car forming, and he parks it outside. He left it alone for a month on a Tacoma, and it just sat. But he's like, it's not sap because it wasn't under a pine tree.
It's probably fungus. Yep.
Active foam didn't get rid of it. So what's the move?
You can use like a panel prep to try to remove it. Realistically, the physical agitation is going to be like a big thing. So you can use a high pH, you can use a low pH wash. You need to basically kind of loosen it up. Then you need to probably go through and clay it. Realistically, it's just that fungus. It kind of just tends to stick and really grasp, and then it makes it even harder to remove the longer it's set up. So you want to probably remove it.
So attack it sooner, not later.
Correct.
Okay. So, maybe in that case, he's right. Use agitation. It's not just down to the product being the right chemical makeup to break it down, but also physical agitation is going to have to be a factor there. Which means if your paint was nicely corrected and all that, you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit just to get rid of this stuff.
Gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I mean?
Tackle those spots. Maybe try using, like a clay scrubber, something along those lines, or even a Jersey bug scrubber. With, some stronger kind of product, maybe like a tar remover almost. Yeah. Try a few different things. But, if active foam wasn't doing it, that's the next step. Okay. Moving along, we got Reginald here. Speaking of clogging towels, does Reflect have any clogging effects on the towels?
I've gone through a couple pints now, and I haven't noticed any sort of adverse effects on my FTWs, but I know there is technically a sealant in there, I believe.
Yeah, there's protection in there.
So, granted, I also always spray my towels down when I'm done with some rags to riches, so that might have just helped the whole thing. I would just recommend, I believe, yes, they can clog your towels over time. That would be my answer to that.
Yeah, no, that seems fair. So, you may have a little product in there, but a little spritz if you're that worried about it. But once again, if you're using like towels on glass, chances are that's the only place those towels get used. Just as a general rule, if you're using towels on glass, you don't want to contaminate them with like other uses. Yeah. Because you don't want that stuff finding its way onto your glass. So, just as a general rule, try and keep your towels focused on their given duties. Eduardo here, I had to use my nail to remove the little black spot. Yeah, so I have to get underneath it. Yeah. I know sometimes people can use like a plastic razor blade, things like that. Obviously, careful with razors on your paint. obviously.
Yeah, it might just need a little mechanical decon.
Yeah, so
Something
that's
a
where
little
you're
bit stronger.
getting into that kind of tougher decon. Let's see. I'm hearing more spots. Exodus also feels like it's artillery fungus. The more we hear, the more it seems to be the case.
I'm going to agree with you guys because
Yeah.
I don't know.
Joey with an interesting suggestion I definitely wouldn't have thought of. Try
Peanut oil.
Now, Joey,
What is this,
please
the cooking channel?
explain what it is about peanut oil that you think will help here. I'm not being facetious. I genuinely don't know, so
Yeah.
I'm curious to find out what you know. Shelby says, does forced work as an iron remover?
No. So, I mean, it might help break it down a little bit, but there's
it's
not an
it
iron
doesn't
remover.
have the active ingredient that iron
Yeah.
removers do. In
Iron
order to
removers
actually
are
break it down.
specifically designed for iron contamination, whereas APCs and anything else, unless it has a built-in iron remover, that's going to get everything else. So
But
you
Forced is not
will
one
want
of
a
those.
designated iron
So,
remover product.
Forced is just a really, really good APC.
Yeah, stuff's great.
David Boyce. Sounds like artillery fungus. Pretty sure that peanut oil is a great remedy. Okay, another vote for peanut oil.
Never heard of this peanut oil thing,
I
but
had
I'm,
never heard of that,
I'm
but then
down to be
again-
educated.
We don't get artillery fungus up here,
Yeah.
really. It's too dry, I think.
Yeah.
But, yeah. DIY with Kane. What's he saying, Lucas?
Where does the dryer wolf fall in your lineup? Seems like it's rarely spoken about. So, I don't really use it a whole lot, but it's just going to be a super plush, soft style drying towel for like super delicate paint works. So like a lot of people, we unfortunately don't have the bigger size of Pluffles anymore, but
Right.
people that really did like those for super delicate paint work, the dryer wolf kind of falls in line in that kind of category. So like just your super, super plush, super soft style drying towel for people that like that for that peace of mind,
That's the right way to approach it. So, to answer the question kind of in a little more detail, when it came to the dryer wolf, and especially since the Pluffle, as you say, is discontinued now, the point of the Pluffle was to be a towel that was still very absorbent, but for those people who are just paranoid about anything causing potential damage to their paint. That's not to say the other drying towels aren't incredibly safe too, because they are. But sometimes people get weird about like the feel, the texture. And if you feel a twist loop towel, and I remember the first time I tried one, I was like, this feels like a burlap sack. I mean, softer, but generally it felt kind of like a burlap sack or a high traffic carpet. I was like, I don't know about this. Turns out they work great, and you're only going to cause damage if you're like crazy pushing down pressure. But a dryer wolf is incredibly soft. However, it's like that super plush pile, like an eagle or like, those kind of fluffier circular knit weave or even coral fleece knit like the minks. Softer towels like that, they have a longer pile. And those fingers, the longer pile, allow more stuff. So like if you have any debris left on the surface, say you thought you cleaned really well, but maybe a few things like dust particles, dirt particles are left over, those long fingers of the pile allow a little space for stuff to pass through. So when you're moving over with the towel, you're not just grinding it against the surface the way you would with a really tight, flat pile.
Yeah.
And that's beneficial, but the trade-off is you may get more streaking. It's just a reality with like a longer pile towel. It's kind of like when people try to dry their cars using like an Eagle Edgeless. Eagle Edgeless is fantastic at a lot of different things, but when it comes to drying, if you're expecting like a perfect smooth pass to like get rid of everything on it, it's not the right towel for that job.
It's for.
It's just not what it's meant for.
Yeah.
So just understand like the construction of a towel goes a long way towards explaining why it performs better at certain tasks. And, if you're new to this stuff, maybe it didn't even occur to you. That's why I did that microfiber video explaining all that.
Great video, by the way.
You haven't checked that. Thank you. Appreciate that. If you haven't seen that, I would recommend that as a quick refresher for anybody who's curious. It's on the channel. It came out a couple weeks ago. Anyway, moving on. Oh, my goodness. I got Purdy here. What's Purdy saying?
Dudes, what can we expect in terms of release date on the website for the new ADS releases that were announced at TRCMA? The ADS edit that went up yesterday from TRCMA is great. Check it out, folks. I agree. You guys should all go check that video out.
Yes.
As far as release dates, and I'm not 100% certain, but I think from what Brad and DJ said, I think they were aiming for I want to say 8 weeks for the release on those. So I hope that we could get them shortly after that or right around that time. So I would say within a few months, within a couple months, I believe.
Yeah. So
Don't
it's
quote me
not
on
all just dropping at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
But-
it's that and the trim and the APC. I
Yeah.
think is what's coming next.
It's a chance to give you a heads up, though. Simon Howard. What's Simon saying?
Hey team, good morning from Australia. I hope Anthony has denibbed those new tires. Matty W. I don't know if he has. Let me.
Hey, Anthony. Are those tires denibbed?
They are not de-nibbed. They are fully nibbed. Or no, sorry, they are fully, they're fully nibs everywhere.
So it's a little cold out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got the nibs.
Yep.
You don't want to spend a few hours denibbing all of them?
No,
Nope.
just sitting there with a
Come
pair
on
of
now.
toenail clippers, just therapeutically.
Right.
Little snip.
Not at all. I have negative interest in that.
Yeah. There are many other things a person can do with their time. But hey, if it bothers you that much, go for it. Charleston. Hey, Charleston.
How's it going?
Any chance of us ever getting a blue 1500? Also, happy Thursday, guys. Happy to see you here, Charleston. Thank you for popping in. And a blue 1500, what do you think, Anthony?
And I mean, never say never.
I mean, that color is probably a lot friendlier
Yeah, who
than
knows?
a bright red would be in the wash with your other color towels.
Eric, we're always working on things. So you never know. Never say never.
Just throwing ideas out there. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. I've got Sal from Details. What's up, folks?
How's
back
it going,
at you,
Sal? From Details.
And saying hey to the other folks. This is page 2. On to page 1. Brian says, similar question to before. Ceramic infused quick detail sprays. Wash the towel straight away. Will it mess the towel up if you don't?
Again, I'm gonna keep saying this.
No, go for it.
Little spray bottle with extra riches. That'll, if you don't, like, for example, I understand that people don't want to do a full load of laundry, especially when it's just a couple of towels or you just did one wash and you don't have full load to do. Doing that little spray into the towel will just be a preventative measure to help the ceramic from actually curing inside the towels. So will it mess it up if you don't? If you don't do anything, not right away, but over time it will start to clog them up. So I would just do that as a preventative measure.
Usually when towels get clogged, it's not just from one use.
Right.
It's from repeated use.
Unless you're absolutely soaking them.
And to be fair, certain products definitely affect towels more than others.
Right.
I know, like, when it came to Bead Maker, that was one that, like, caught people's attention when they're using it, and they're just like, you're spraying it all over and tons of it.
It's easy to do that because it's such a
easy
great
to do
product
because
to
you just
use.
like smelling it.
Exactly.
It's fun. So yeah, that is kind of one of the earlier cases where people are noticing, oh, I'm starting to clog up my towels. But yeah, a little spray helps neutralize the worst effects that come with that. And once again, yeah, if you wait a day or two and then you soak them or something, you'll
it's
be
totally
all right.
okay.
Just don't wait like multiple years. Although that is kind of what we tested them on when we were originally helping PNS develop Rags to Riches. Anthony and I went to a laundromat with towels that some towels we were convinced were just dead, like the deadest of the dead. There's no way this is going to come back.
Towels that
and
went through,
Anthony
like, God mode
can
Bead
vouch
Maker.
some of those towels we thought were absolutely cooked came back and functioned again, and it was wild.
Back from the dead. It's true, Dane.
So
You are right.
Anyway,
So really quick, what I'm doing
Big
right
love for
now,
that one.
I want to kind of just explain this because this is going to
Yeah.
look kind of weird. So I kind of hate doing a foam wash and then jumping into a rinseless wash. I actually think it makes no sense at all. Why would I not just continue on with just soap while I'm here? I'm doing this because I wanted to show people just an alternate method if you wanted to do it this way. Here's the problem. When you lay on something like Touchless or like a foaming cleaner or something that's going to be a little bit higher pH or just something that is more like a touchless wash, you have to rinse everything. You know, all that foam, all that residue. Yes, you could probably go straight into a rinseless wash, but it's not going to completely rinse and neutralize all that soap, right? You don't want that standing soap sitting in certain areas. You could get soap stains and other crap that you don't want. So what I did is just thoroughly rinse everything, and that way I got all the soap off there, mainly because I'm crazy as well. But what I want to do is, because now that there's so much water on the surface, right? If I were to take O&R and take that, dilute it, the correct standard dilution, onto the panel, it's going to dilute it more because there's standing water on the vehicle surface. And so what I'm going to do is try to blow off some of the water, and then I will pre-spray with some O&R at 256-1 and then go through with my standard rinseless wash. But you would have a bad experience jumping straight into a rinseless wash with standing normal water on the car because you are actively diluting that product as you're wiping.
You're taking it from the 256 to what it
Yeah,
should be and
you're
turning it into
taking
something
it
else.
to
So.
400 to something. I don't
Yeah.
know. Who knows? So just something to keep in mind. That's why I'm going to be blow drying off some of this water. So I'm not crazy.
It's not to say that you couldn't in a pinch if you wanted to, but you're going to have your best experience if you do what he's doing here.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Moving on to Mike G. Detailing. Anthony, thoughts on how did Touchless do for you prior to the contact wash? Well, when he does the contact wash with the ONR version 6, he'll definitely talk about the experience, because the nice part about doing a rinseless is it's not very noisy. So he can actually talk while he's operating on that.
Yeah.
Mike, I will have him discuss it as he does that process. But in the meantime, we'll keep going to more questions, but I will remember yours, Mike. Sydney. Hey, Sydney.
Hey, how's it going,
For
Sydney?
the fungus, is crystal wash, that's a mild acid, and then clay. Good
There you
call,
go.
Sydney. Thank you.
Thanks for helping me out there. I didn't know what I was talking about.
And then Joey popping in with more peanut oil talk. Peanut oil will act like a tar remover for the fungus. Try it if you aren't allergic to peanuts. Fair point.
Interesting.
Right, then on to page
more you know.
1. Neil says, mulch or rotting wood causes artillery fungus around here. Okay, noted. Mulch. I mean, mulch is found everywhere. There's a lot of mulch out there. Rotting wood, though, yeah. I mean, it's usually going to be more humid still. So, yeah. Up here, it's just not as common.
Yeah,
unless there's recently been a
we don't
rain
have
or
high
something.
humidity, so
Maybe there's a small window where it could happen, but I can't imagine it's very common up here.
yeah.
But
I've never
Sydney
seen
weighing
it.
in means that Sydney's probably experienced it at least once or twice. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Pull up here. David Boyce, don't forget about the usage of a plastic razor blade as scraping those black spots on and your liquid peanut oil. Yes.
And you
So
know,
David
if you
Boyce
actually go onto the
reiterated.
Rag Company website, we sell the Coach Chemi plastic scraper. It comes with 10 extra razor
Hey.
blades. Great deal and bang for your buck. You should go buy it.
Dude, look at that. We're on it.
I'm a walking salesman.
No joke. We actually have that stuff. Shout out KCX for those. And next up, Joey saying, bruh, it works.
I don't disagree. I've just never heard of
Yeah.
it.
No,
That's why I said the more you know. Thanks
You
for
know,
educating me,
sometimes-
Joey.
On Q&A, sometimes we're the ones who learn
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
And that's okay.
You know,
I like that.
I'm still learning by the day.
You should want your host to continue learning.
Exactly. Would you rather me tell you you're wrong, Joey?
That's right. All right, what's Howie saying?
Is Anthony using DI water start to finish, or will he only use it for the final rinse?
Well, we got to see our spotless system back there
I don't
in the
know
closet.
what's turned on and off back there, so
Let's
that's
see our
a good
song.
question.
It's running through there.
Oh, it is running through
Yeah.
there? So yes, DI water start to finish.
All right. Then we got Exodus here. I know Ivan has suggested peanut oil in the past as well. You know, now that you mention, I think I've heard him mention that once or twice. And Sid here, also getting educated on the peanut oil.
Yeah.
So we're all
Interesting.
learning.
That's
Look
what
at
I'm
that.
saying.
Gabe Garcia chiming in. What's he saying?
The Dryer Wolf is a great towel for rinseless wash if you don't want to use a sponge.
Okay.
Using that big of a towel for washing the car, Gabe? I think you mean the Wolf Pack?
Yeah.
I don't know.
David Boyce popping in. Yes, that's a video demonstration Ivan has performed on his DIY video. There you go. And Shelby, I think an iron remover might be the only thing I don't have in my chemical lineup. If I'm claying the car, is the iron remover absolutely necessary? If the car's never had iron remover used on it, it can be a pretty good experience just to knock it out on the car, but it depends.
I would say it depends on how much iron, because if there is
Yeah.
a bunch, I would say it is necessary, because the clay towel will remove a little bit of it, but what really the iron remover is going to do is really dissolve it and start to like remove it from the surface, and it's going to make it a lot easier to clean up during your clay process.
Yeah.
So I would say if you do absolutely, like if you do have a bunch of iron on the car, I would say it's a necessary step.
No, that's a good point. And if you're looking to pick up an iron remover, though, you don't need a ton of it. It's mostly just for like once in a while.
You should realistically, if you just get a pint and you know you're not going to be using it a whole lot, so I would just stick with the smaller size. You should absolutely be able to do an entire, even a full size truck.
Yeah. And the other thing too is like, I mean, are you close to a railroad? But it's not even just rail dust that ends up getting out in the air. There's other ways to get iron particles on your paint for sure. If you're next to any kind of like heavy machinery operation, if you're near construction sites, if you're near any kind of like big factory plants, anything like that, there's a lot of different ways it can happen. But it just gets carried in the air and it finds its way onto your paint.
See, we're blessed because we don't get a whole lot of iron contamination.
Fortunately not.
Other than wheels.
Kind of lucky that way.
Oh, that is.
Mike G had a question for you, Anthony, and you can probably help explain when you're doing your actual rinseless wash process here. But he wanted you to talk about the experience of using Optimum Touchless, and then going in when you're talking about using ONR V6.
Yeah.
Just kind of explaining the experience. So he just wanted to kind of hear like your thoughts on it.
So Touchless is pretty awesome because we've used Touchless probably 15, 20 times now, right, since it's been released. And what I really like about it is it's a no stress situation, meaning that if I'm using active foam, super foam, something super high pH, I'm kind of working pretty fast, right? And I'm always kind of very cognizant of how long I'm letting it dwell for because, again, I'm worried about soap staining, I'm worried about the trim, I'm worrying about things like that when you have a higher pH chemical because that is stuff that impacts the longevity, the look, and all of that. So with Optimum Touchless, because it's pH balance, somehow with the magic of Dr. G, it is a very low stress situation, and I'm not worried about letting that set up or sit on the surface for long periods of time, like at all whatsoever. That's why I went around and knocked out the wheel wells. I mean, shoot, if I was really quick and I felt pretty comfortable, I could touchless the whole truck, go through, clean my wheels and my tires, and by the time I'm done with those, I could re-rinse everything and rinse off the touchless. But what I'm finding is that in comparison to Built Hamber's touchless, I think Built Hamber's touchless has more cleaning power.
So more aggressive.
In general, I think it is more aggressive. But Optimum's touchless, you are removing about 50% of, like if Matt says that Built Hamber's touchless is removing 90% of the dirt, I would say that Optimum's touchless is removing anywhere from 50 to 70%, right?
That's
so it's still
pretty good.
Which is still knocking down
And
quite
pH
a bit.
neutral.
And while still being pH neutral. And so, like, when I'm looking at the truck right now, yeah, I did use an iron remover. Yes, I did rinse it multiple times over, right? But, like, the truck is honestly pretty clean at this point. I mean, and it was filthy. It was freaking filthy. And so now I could take a waterless wash and I could go through and just spray that on and dry the vehicle and probably be just fine. But I think touchless, again, if you spray it on, let it dwell, you're going to have a decent amount of cleaning power just by letting it do its thing. Again, it's all going to depend on buildup. But what's also cool, though, is what I found out, though, is it becomes a true decon wash in terms of actual cleaning power when you agitate it. So Dr. G explained to me and Matt that the surfactants in that, when they're physically agitated, yes, which you would think, yes, when anything is physically agitated, it's going to work better.
Yeah.
But when it's physically agitated, it becomes more of an aggressive, more of an attacking style soap, and it's still safe on your hands. So if I were to have agitated the touchless, there's actually a pretty good chance that agitation on the touchless would have removed my spray sealant or a light wax or something like that, or would have greatly impacted the water behavior just by agitating it. Non-agitation, it does not affect the coating, the spray sealant, the wax at all whatsoever, but still gives you that at least brunt force of cleaning some of that filth and starting to lift that stuff. So I like touchless for that reason. Is it something I use every time? Absolutely not. It's something I'm going to use, you know, here when I'm in the studio in a controlled environment, at home on a really nice evening where I have all the time in the world, because again, I have a little bit more time. I'm not speed washing, but
Sure.
if I have my if my wife is yelling at me to help with the kids, and I you know, I'm on a stress like fast wash,
Oh, yeah.
I'm probably just going to get the job done with just normal soap and go from there. But I really like it. So at this point in time right now, I'm actually going to mix up O&R. Mix up V6 here, 256 to 1. I am going to just lightly pre-spray everything with the IK multi-sprayer, just getting O&R on the surface, and then I'm going to go through with multiple chenille mitts. So I have actually a red chenille mitt and a green chenille mitt here in the bucket. I like mitts. I like the chenille knobs when it comes for me doing
Sure.
rinseless, more so than a sponge. I like the sponge. I think it's great, but I'm still a chenille mitt guy when it comes to rinseless. So what I'll probably do is have one mitt for the uppers, and I'll have another mitt for the lowers, and knock it out like that. Or I don't know. Or I might just use one for half the vehicle, then set it aside and use the other one for the other half. I don't know.
So you kind of mentioned before, but one thing I wanted to add to the point there was of the touchlesses, because you mentioned also built hamper, which is definitely a popular one right now as well. Which one would you feel more comfortable using out if you had to be in direct sunlight?
Truthfully, probably the Optimum Touchless. I think that the built hamper touchless is also going to be, relatively okay for short periods of time. But like, I don't know. In my experiences with letting touchless, we even did some touchless washes with Optimum Touchless when it first came out, just doing our testing along. It was like when we were doing the foam and our testing and the touchless testing. We let the touchless dry on the surface. Granted, it was inside here, but we did let it dry and then rinsed it, and we had no major soap staining or any residue or anything like that. So that made me feel more comfortable just doing that. Outdoors, I don't know, could be a little bit of a different story. But I think it's just another safe pre-spray, pre-wash option that I would still kind of put in alignment with GSF and other, spray, snow foams. But this one apparently, does have more cleaning power, and when agitated, can even do a deeper clean.
Okay, excellent. Well, guys, gals, everybody watching right now, while Anthony mixes that up, he's not going to use it just yet because we actually are going to take a momentary little break, give Anthony a chance to maybe go drink some water so he's not clearing his throat on air. And you guys go ahead and take a little break too. We will see you in just a few minutes. Don't go too far, just enough time to grab a snack. We'll see you in just a couple. Hello, and welcome back. That's right, it's Q&A Thursday here with Dane, Lucas, and Anthony detailing in the back. He just finished up an awesome touchless wash on his beautiful Raptor, and now he's going to follow it up with a ONR, that's Optimum No Rinse, version 6 wash on the same vehicle. So we got to see the whole process, beginning to end. Yes, he's holding up the bottle. Thank you for being a great model there.
Thank you, Dane.
Yeah. Anyway, is there anything you want to tell people about this whole process before we move on?
Yeah, so at this point in time, we've gone through, cleaned the wheels, and used a little bit of ADS wheel cleaner, and then following that, we did Optimum Touchless, so their own touchless wash. And so we sprayed that on, let that dwell for a little bit of time. I knocked out my fender wells, knocked out my side steps, all of that good stuff. And then I went and gone ahead and rinsed it. And so I also did a little bit of a blow dry on it. And for the reason for that is that we're going to be jumping straight into a rinseless wash, and I didn't want to have water sitting on the surface and diluting this product even more. So we're actually going to go over the bucket over here, and I'm going to put in my capfuls here and dilute this, and we are going to jump into the rinseless portion, and I will give you guys some feedback as I'm going along. So I don't know if this camera's working right here.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know if Glenn, I don't know if we planned on this.
There we go. For the wheel cam, perfect.
So for this, right? Oh God, I dropped part of the lid, part of the cap. So for this here, ONR version 6 here, it's like a nice blue look to it. Color is not super stable across the board on ONR, so sometimes you'll have different colors, but they kind of nailed it on this one for the time being. So this blue looks really nice. Still smells like the traditional ONR we all love. So we're going to go ahead, and I got about 4.5 gallons of water in here. So we're going to do about 4.5 capfuls and dump that in. Is that 4? I lost count. Whatever.
That's 4.
Something. That's fine.
You're
good. Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and mix it up, stir it up with our hand. And inside the bucket here, I have 2 chenille mitts. I have 1 green, and I have 1 red. And I'm going to fill up a little bit of my IK sprayer, my Multi Pro 2, inside the diluted bucket here, and we're going to pre-spray the truck, do just a nice light mist, and then jump through with our wash.
Thank you much. All right, somebody is going to laugh at the fact we're doing rinseless in a bucket that says rinse, but it also says rinseless below rinse. So
it does.
Just a little bit of confusion for the fun of it. All right, so I'm starting things off with a Compliment question mark for Anthony here, who surely wants to hear this. Jojo Crawdaddy saying, "Nice truck. Somebody spent a few dollars on that." So yeah, he disappeared. He didn't.
No,
hear it.
sorry, I'm blowing my nose.
Yeah,
so what
Jojo Crawdaddy.
I spent a few dollars on that.
So
yeah.
it's one of those trucks that makes you look like a baller, even though you can find them for a good price nowadays.
Yeah, the second gens are kind of, I mean, actually it depends. Second gens are all across the board right now.
Yeah.
Like, there's examples in the 30s, there's examples in the 60s still. I don't know what the right answer is or what the right one to get is, but I didn't spend probably as much as most people would think. So I think I got a pretty good deal on the truck. And so, but yeah, I totally do feel like a baller when I'm driving this.
Well, you love that thing. You talk about how much you love it. Constantly.
I am totally obsessed with this thing. And I'm not a truck person. I don't give a crap about trucks. I don't see other trucks on the road and think, wow, I love that truck. I really don't care about trucks. But for some reason, this truck speaks to my inner tuner person, and the turbo sounds and the fact that people crap on the fact that these have a V6 in them, a twin turbo V6. I love it. I'm like, this sounds like a GTR. I would much rather have it sound cool like this than I know it sounds weird, but I'm not a V8 guy. I had a V8 in the Dodge Ram, which was it was a baby V8, but
318 Magnum.
But it, the sound of a V8 is just, it's all right, right?
Mm-hmm.
This, I think it sounds awesome. I think it's just truck guys need to have a truck sound because
Well, your exhaust
energy
on this one does sound actually really awesome.
It does,
so.
yeah. It sounds pretty good. So anyways, I'm going to get to pre-spraying, and then I'm going to get to my wash.
All right, sweet. So we will keep this going on to page 3 here. I've got Alpha Tango. Happy to see you here, bud. Sorry I'm late, Lucas. You rock, buddy.
Appreciate you, Alpha Tango.
Alpha Tango is a wonderful new addition to the commenting community around here. Great to have you here. RAF, Royal Air Force. Can you add tire shine to brand new tires, or do you have to clean them first?
I mean, if you want the best bond, I'd probably recommend cleaning them first. Maybe even go through
like factory residue stuff on there. Like any product, like when it's produced, there can be a little sheen, a little bit of leftover, whatever it was during the
I would just take like a
process.
solvent, like even something like mineral spirits, something like that.
Yeah, clean it up a little. Then Gabe Garcia, helping out Shelby here. The iron remover is not necessarily necessary. Fun to say. Iron can be used for chemical decon, specifically when prepping for a coating. That's certainly one way to do that. Jeff C, with a good little Christmas vacation reference. Tad bit nibbly out there. Detail Grind Podcast. No pants ripping tomorrow. All I'm going to say. Tune in.
Oh.
Yeah, they have a special guest for tomorrow on their Friday podcast. It should be a good time.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'll have to be there.
I'm probably going to have to tune into that
in the
one.
chat, you mean. You know what I mean.
Joey, never say never. Dark
Is he
Dragon.
running both accounts right now?
Yeah, he's totally like just hopping between accounts to say.
I like it.
Dark Dragon, best drying aid. Amplify, Adapt, or OG drying aid? Oh,
man, that's a loaded question.
Yeah.
But me personally, I've been using Amplify as my drying aid, and I love it. Stuff is great.
Well,
I still haven't really tried OG drying aid, to be fair, so.
Joey seemed pretty converted by OG drying aid. He really seemed to love it after being in love with other products. But OG did something to him, and he's somebody who, once again, before he laid hands on it, he was an OG hater.
Yeah. I do need to try it,
pointing that out because
heard,
it's important to note.
I've heard nothing but good things about the OG drying aid.
And remember, for those of you who aren't familiar, may not be familiar with Lucas's background, Lucas actually details on the regular. So
I do detail on the
He's
regular.
like running a business and stuff, guys. So he has plenty of experience.
I'm basically the guy,
Yeah. Thing or two. About a thing or two. Artillery fungus. I bet an M22 will get rid of that thing. Yeah, Hans. I think that's a good call. Gabe here. Drying aid for sure. And amplified to top as a quick detailer is rad. A little bit of love for that. Tamber Chase. I'm excited to get my hands on an M22 towel.
I am too.
Yeah, everybody is.
I'm waiting for it.
Yeah. You won't be disappointed. It's awesome. Thank you, Gabe, popping in. And she loves the color. Brian, your thoughts on a foaming rinseless product or foaming rinseless products in general?
Okay, so here's the thing. I've used them. The Foaminar, I've used it. I don't fully understand it. Like why you do that. Like if you're using soap, just use soap. I The only thing I can think of in my head is for people that are really skeptical of rinseless wash, I think
placebo
a foam
effect
and
for
R or something like that, that
those
could get you in the
folks.
door kind of thing, just to like get you to maybe kind of step into it, maybe get a feel for it. I will say one thing that I've been kind of doing recently, and this is something I've just been testing, not something I do regularly, foam and R in like a Foam Pro 2, and for when I do my rinseless washes, and if I do want to do a little bit deeper clean on my wheels, I've been using foam and R as my wheel cleaner during a rinseless wash, and then kind of like rinsing it out. I'm a little privileged. I have a tint sprayer, so it's got some higher pressure, so I'll usually like rinse off a little bit with that after I do my contact in there. It seems to work really well.
No, that's a good call. And foaming rinseless was really just kind of a development to give people like a bridge product.
Yeah.
For the people who are used to soap, because soap's been around forever, rinseless really is the way to go for like regular washing. Like
100%.
soap, foam, all that stuff, you can do it, but it's extra work.
Yeah.
And you're still going to end up with a clean car at the end. Truly, you're going to end up with just as clean a car with rinseless as if you use soap. I know people will sit there and argue till the cows come home in the comments, but in our experience, I think everybody here would agree, a rinseless wash can be every bit as capable as a soap wash.
But
If
if it's
it's not
something that
seeing the suds.
Yeah, and if you're thinking about trying it, though, I would say it's worth a shot. You might love it, and you might have a completely different opinion than me.
Sure.
And you can also go on the radcompany.com and purchase it in either a 32-ounce or a gallon, so there you go.
Yeah, no. You be the judge. You try it for yourself, and you say what you think after doing that, and then see if you evolve into a traditional rinseless user, or you go, I don't know, and then you just kind of stay at the foaming rinseless maybe.
But for me, I have been using it on wheels, and I've actually been liking that quite a bit. So.
Okay, nice. Hans Closen, teal 1500. Am I right? Now we're just adding other colors to the 1500. Man, we're just daydreaming here. I am tempted to order OG.
Do it,
talking
you
about
won't.
the OG drying aid. Give it a shot, man. Try it. Joey here. Matt would have told me I was wrong. I could apply to almost
Probably.
anything, Joey. Dino, hey, long time no see. Been moving to a new apartment and doing some renovations for about 2 months every day. It's going crazy. Cherry on top. Person before us had a pipe burst in the kitchen and
that sucks.
no, said nothing to us. We have those machines for drying going 13 hours every day to dry it all out.
I'm sorry, man.
So wish you guys all the best. Have to catch up on everything after all this crazy. I'm sorry, Dino. That's a whole thing.
Yeah.
You deserve better. So good luck, man. Just get it all taken care of. We'll be here.
I hope
when
it all
you're
goes
done.
well.
And you can catch it on the replay. But sincerely from us, hoping things improve for you. All right. Gabe, once again, just popping in the comments, helping out. The OG drying aid is incredibly slick when drying towel hits the paint. That's the idea.
That's what it's designed for.
Hans Closen, what's he saying?
A bath of bead maker seals up anything. Just ask Luke B. He was crazy enough to have a bead maker bath. That'll seal up your skin, buddy.
That's not. You need to be able to breathe.
Alex, I miss you.
Miss you
and
too,
Joey,
Alex.
come on back. Come take
You
a
guys
visit.
are welcome back anytime.
Oh yeah, you can just walk in the door, kick it down.
All right, Jeff C. What's he saying?
I've been doing the hybrid wash method since before it was cool. I either bump up my pre-soak concentration or apply the rinseless with a foam cannon to displace all that water. It works well for me. Yeah.
Yeah, can't fault it. Brian Lentz here. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
I'm jumping the gun these days.
No. I was going to ask you to read it anyway. So
Are
go
iron
for it.
removers safe to use on PPF film? I would say no. I wouldn't recommend it. If anything, I would even, if you know the film that you have, I would reach, because every film is going to be different. They're going to react different to certain products. So I would even reach out to the installer or maybe even the film maker themselves to see if they have a better recommendation on that. I would say, personally, I would try to avoid a chemical decon if necessary on PPF, and maybe just like a super light clay if needed. That's just my 2 cents.
All right. Then I've got Reginald here.
Lucas, did you get a Detail Factory brush cleaner yet? Dude, I have not, and I think I might need to place an order as soon as we're done with this podcast, because we do have them back in stock. I've heard they're pretty nice.
No. Everybody who's used one goes, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
I actually didn't realize how much I needed this.
Well, it was funny because I during TRCMA, I meant to get one. Like, I was looking at it. It was the end of the day on whatever day it was, and I was like, I think tomorrow morning I'm going to build myself out an order for some new stuff. Came in the morning, was building my order, 0 stock. It's like, come on now.
I'm imagining somebody who has like, maybe they're not doing detailing, but they could actually repurpose that brush cleaner for like paint brushes and stuff.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
if you got like house painting or you're an artist or something, like having one of those around and
Just a
plastic,
general
it
brush
cleans
cleaner?
up. But just a general brush cleaner, I imagine how much good that would do, just getting the gunk out.
I love the idea.
In a way that others don't. Rather than sitting under the sink and just squeezing it between your fingers every bristle.
And that's what I do,
for
so that's
who
why I
knows
like
how
the
long.
idea of
Yeah,
that.
it's annoying after a while. You know how it is. Hans here. Hans says, okay, very important question for All Day Dragon. With those legs, he can fit out. What is this? Question is, what leg in and outside of leg? What are you talking about, Hans? This sounds way worse, I think, than you realize. Shelby, just pick any iron remover in a small bottle and it makes all you do next a lot easier. There we go. Joey, any idea when you'll have the last cut in the new bottles? They look pretty sweet.
Shoot, man, I honestly have no idea.
Anthony, what did Jace tell you?
Oh God, I don't know, man. To be honest,
You heard it here first.
Stay tuned.
All right, awesome.
God, I think it's. I mean, it's coming. I think it's happening like now. I think really the process is just getting some of the old bottle stock moved through, and then the new stuff will start rolling out here in like the following orders.
I'll let you know on the low.
All right. Well, that certainly
When they do
works.
come.
Then I got Neil here. Here's one. I have some black trim I plan on using a product like Solution Finish on. There are some water spots. Should I remove the spots first or just go ahead and use Solution Finish over it?
I would say panel prep it, just get it ready for the solution finish, and I would imagine the solution finish should cover it up. I've honestly never...
Yeah, I mean, Solution Finish, in the case of the trim you're working on, if it's the right kind of trim to accept Solution Finish, it's going to get absorbed in there anyway.
Yeah.
I'm imagining, like, as far as, like, mineral deposits that water spots generally are, you end up with, like, it embedding itself. So if it's stuff that's, like, long time embedded in there, yeah, maybe go through the process to try and remove it first. You know, you can do, your little acid or whatever you want to use to try and get it out of there. But generally on trim, once you darken it up, it should do a pretty good job of just covering the whole thing.
Yeah. That's my thoughts.
Because I'm thinking, I've gone over water spotted trim with Solution Finish before, and when I was done, you couldn't see it anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in my experience, it's worked, but I'm not going to say there aren't scenarios where it might be better to clean it first. Use your best judgment.
Yeah.
All right. So V6 appears interesting, says Binford 6100. He's talking about version 6 O&R. So, Anthony, please talk to us about your experience so far using O&R version 6.
I think V6 is a massive improvement. I think it feels awesome. Like, I'm using it right now, and usually a chenille mitt would be a little bit grabbier just because it's microfiber, and it feels like it's gliding really well. It seems like, the paint's really, it feels really good. And what's interesting too is, I'm removing quite a bit of dirt from this truck, and I would say that noticeably that my media is actually cleaning out and washing out a little bit better than I think before in version 5. And so I think it feels really good. I think it's a good improvement. And so we'll see, once I start drying everything. I'm realizing, though, I kind of hate rinseless washing this truck. It kind of sucks, to be honest. It's really big. And I'm like, me being so meticulous, I'm like, this is a lot more dunks in a bucket. This is a lot more, and I'm looking at that hood scoop. I'm like, so what am I going to do to get up to that, right? I have a freaking stool over here I'm going to step onto. It's not even that big of a truck. It's just wide, and you can't get to the center area so easy.
Well, there's a lot of surface angle changes. Like, there's a lot of texture along the surface.
There's a lot going on.
Indents and ridges and creases and
It's very true, Dane. Very true.
If I were the owner of that truck, I would probably be rolling down to Uncle Adam at Enzo's there and saying, you take care of this.
I don't know. Yeah.
Or you could hit up local detailer Lucas Blaine for Diamond Top
yes,
Detailing.
you could also certainly do that, and then Lucas will do all the work for you.
Exactly.
All right. BC saying, would you guys recommend the Jersey scrubber as an interior scrub pad, or are there plans for an interior scrub pad?
Sure. I don't see why
the
not.
Interior scrub mitt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Had.
I know I say that like it's still there, but sorry guys, I just remembered.
I don't see why it'd be a bad option. I personally, that's not something I've ever done or something that I probably would try, but give it a shot. Let me know how it goes.
I don't see it hurting anything as long as it's being used on, like, if you're using it on upholstery surfaces, like, you know, leather or cloth or something like that, you're probably fine.
If you're using it on piano black.
I would not use it on piano black. I would not use it on gloss black surfaces because those things scratch if you look at them wrong.
Exactly.
It's not even a matter of, like, the Jersey Bug Scrubber being particularly aggressive. It's literally people will use normal towels and decent products and still manage to scratch those because they use too much pressure.
Yeah, a dry plush towel could scratch piano black.
Yeah, like, well, you know, especially if you're like trying to clear dust off and stuff, and you
Right.
just dry dust it, like, oh. My Flex has a whole center console. It's so annoying. Just gloss black down the middle. It's
my Mazda, I got piano black that's gone through the ringer, man.
hate it. Yeah, so
There's no bringing that back.
definitely not the biggest fan of that. Mike G, I never thought I would say this after V4 and V5, but O&R V6 is back in my rotation.
Love to hear it, Mike.
So Mike is an O&R version 6 fan as well. And Anthony, what would you say stands out to you most about version 6 compared to the prior versions you had?
I would say it seems to be spreading easier on the surface. So for example, like my dunks are going much further than the previous versions, and I don't know if it's just due to the slickness. I don't know if it's just due to its water behavior that it's having, because it when I'm wiping these areas, the water behavior is changing as I'm wiping them. In a good way, not in a bad way. So what I'm thinking is happening is maybe Dr. G has figured out a way to improve the water behavior in the moment as you're using the product, as you're agitating things. That's what feels the most realistic to me. But it seems like it's going a lot further. It feels really, really good. And yeah, I mean, again, it's not like it's, how do I say this? The O&R hasn't changed in the fact that it's gotten, like, it's not the same O&R. It's still the same O&R. There's just new characteristics to it which make the process feel better, in my opinion. And so
That's the right way to look at it.
And your truck's uncoated too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not coated. It's just got, I think it just has Amplify on it from ADS.
That speak to the performance as well.
Well, yeah. No, I mean, you watch him work, it doesn't look like he's fighting it or struggling at all.
No.
So, all right, next up, I've got Exodus here. Y'all made Lucas self-conscious about his hoodie tent situation.
Oh, man.
I think he caught you there at the beginning when we came back from the break.
Again about it. It's okay. We'll fold it up.
Binford, if Mike
good
G
now.
says version 6 is legit, then it's legit. Yeah, there you go. Got you again.
Whatever.
Alex Dewar here,
Make
knocking out a
full-on tent for y'all.
nasty excursion interior detail tomorrow. Oh, those family excursions can be a real delight once you get inside.
Oh, yeah.
Might try the leaf blower with the doors open to get the heavy stuff out. Then the ultra air blaster on the light stuff. That's a
done
good
that.
way to look at it. Yeah. The fact you need to go in there with a leaf blower, though, says something about the way it was taken care of. Is this like a repo or like an auction car? What's the story with this one, Alex? What's going on? Or is it just a family and they've never detailed it, and now it's finally getting attention?
Just doing the mom car
Yeah,
disaster
I
detail.
can see that being the case.
Always fun.
All right, Simon here. Simon Howard saying, it's Good Friday down here. Waking up to a TRC Live has made it a great Friday. Keep up the awesome work and advice. Oh, happy
Appreciate
to hear
you,
that,
Simon.
Still Thursday where we are, but we call it Friday Eve because that's fun. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't point out that Joey screamed at me in text messages to say he was not the one who placed the creamsicle scented towel in Anthony's cup holder.
Who's responsible then?
He blamed Sydney.
Sydney?
So apparently Sydney is getting thrown under the bus on that one. I'm sure she'll weigh in with her own comment, but
I forgive her.
You guys proceed as you will. All right. John Gorecki. Hey guys, many years ago I was at a car show and purchased a gray short nap twist loop towel from MTM. I'm looking for a new one and MTM said it was one of yours. Any idea on which towel that is? A short nap twist loop. I mean, if it's a
Gray.
shorter pile, but it's a twist loop, if it's older though, I mean, FTW is a great place to start. That's very, very short pile, and that's twist loop.
We have a light gray version as well.
Now, are you talking like a drying towel? Was this a larger towel?
That would be
larger.
What I'm wondering.
Because FTW you're going to get in the smaller size, but if you're talking about something bigger, it could have been more like a
Twist and shout.
probably a double twistress or something along those lines.
Oh, is it twist and shout?
Maybe a
Or,
twistress.
not twist and shout, but double
Yeah, a
twist.
version of the twistress. So yeah, you might take a look at the twistress and the double twistress.
Yeah.
But if you prefer like a larger towel, twist loops, we've got several different choices to pick from there. So yeah, take a look, see what you like.
Keep an eye out for
Everything
the
from
slim dryer coming back
liquidator
as well.
to the slim dryer is definitely going to be like a new favorite for a lot of people.
Oh yeah. I've been loving mine.
That one should be coming back in stock soon. The first batch we had was available, very limited run, available during TRCMA, sold out super quick, but all the proceeds from that went to the Gary Sinise Foundation.
Yeah.
So
We've got
now
new colors coming soon, guys.
we'll have multiple
Stay
colors
tuned.
coming, a whole thing, and they're not too far out. So we'll let you know when those are available. Neil White, what's he saying?
What's the tiny guy in the background using on his Bronco? Same as all day? Good question.
I think the G-Tech
No
guys
idea.
are using G-Tech products on the Bronco back there.
I think they're coating it right now. As
Yeah.
we speak.
They're actually coding. Yeah, I think they're coding
So
right now.
actually, what are you guys using back there? I know you're not mic'd up, but if you yell it to us, we can tell them.
Crystal Serum
Crystal
Ultra.
Serum Ultra, which means it's the awesome stuff, the awesome sauce. So CSU for those in the know.
Got that cool black box too.
Yeah, but if you're not like a certified installer and you can't get your hands on CSU,
CSL.
then the next best way to go is CSL plus XO.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a good call. So, just so you know. All right, fine detailing. Popping in. It says, sorry I'm late. Hi, all. Miss you.
Oh, I
Right
miss
back
you,
at
Ryan.
you, dude. It was fun having
good
you all
meeting ya.
here. Then I've got Arch Nerds here saying, can I pre-soak rinseless for pollen, or I need much more kick than that before rinsing with a pressure washer? Okay, so he's wondering, do you need to pre-soak if you're going to use rinseless on pollen, or do you just smack it with a pressure washer?
I mean, I'd say it depends on how much pollen, because pollen is
Sometimes pollen
Can
can,
be
be
pretty
really
gnarly on paint,
sticky
too.
and resilient,
Yeah, so
and
you
it
may
doesn't
need a
give up
rinse.
the fight easily.
I would say if it's lightly on there, just kind of blew on. Pre-spray, call it good. I've done it, but if is that the best practice? Probably not.
If you don't, you're saying pressure washer like you have access to one, so that's one thing. But I was gonna say for the people out there who are listening to this who are like, oh, I don't have access to a pressure washer, or I'd rather not use one. Maybe you're working
Oh, I
inside
see what
or
he's
something.
asking now.
Then maybe hit it with like an APC in the particularly tough spots first, and then you can follow up with your rinseless after the fact.
Yeah, but pre-soaking with rinseless, I would say that'd give you a little bit of extra lubrication too, and a little safety net before you pressure wash it. So I'd say if you are pressure washing it off, then yeah, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I totally misread that. That's my
No,
bad.
makes sense. So that gives you a good idea of what to expect there. Now, moving on, we got Bimford here saying it's a beautiful truck. That being said, I'd rather have a GM truck. And that's okay, Bimford. I came up in the GM family. I'm not brand loyal in any particular direction, though, myself. I happen to have owned a number of Fords, but that's just because I like the features they
You've
offer.
owned every brand of vehicle that's ever been made.
Well,
some say.
I'm working on it, but I'm not quite there yet. I'm really picky about what I like. But anyway, there have been some multiple brand models in some cases. GM truck, maybe like a Bison, like a ZR2 Bison. That'd be kind of a badass truck. Mike G, same for me, JB, he says. Brilliance Auto Spa, but it sounds terrible. No, it doesn't sound like a GTR. Brilliance Auto Spa, you have not heard Anthony's exhaust on this. It is not a stock exhaust. Anthony,
Brilliance
what
Auto
exhaust
Spa,
did you
you're
actually
wrong.
get put on your Raptor?
So, SPD Performance, trombone resonator delete, and then I did the Helmholtz muffler, upgraded muffler. So it's a
I have a Helmholtz on my Miata out there too.
and it made a massive difference.
It takes away some of the drone you might otherwise get, so it's nice to have. But no, like Brilliance Auto Spa, I have to defend Anthony on this one. It sounds way better than you would expect it to. I think it sounds awesome.
I think at the end of this, we'll need a cold start Redline Rev.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so next up, we got V8 Life coming from Slick Auto Styling. Definitely speak for yourself, Anthony, so slick. Oh, man, getting a hard time here. Alex says, Raptor is great-looking pavement princess. Too bad we weren't allowed to sit in it. Oh, come on, Anthony. You couldn't even let him sit in it?
No, I didn't want him to sit in it or breathe on it or touch it or look at it weird.
Dane, it wouldn't be pure if
But you let Matt do all those things.
Yeah, Matt was like falling asleep in mine. He was like, I didn't know that I was like, essentially just going to be his freaking chauffeur for, you know, the whole
It
thing.
did turn into that. That's true.
But it was still fun.
Joey Belinsky here. What's he saying, Lucas?
Since the 1500 was named after Anthony's last truck, can we expect that trend to continue?
Oh, a towel
That's
called
fun.
the Raptor?
The 1500 was named after the GSM, but he likened it to the fact that it also matched his 1500 Ram.
Make it like that avalanche gray color. That'd be sick.
I like where these people are thinking. I like where they're going with this.
Oh, man. BC out here throwing more shade at Anthony's exhaust.
No, come on.
Heck, I can
Says
never
Anthony
win.
must have never heard a Whipple 5.0.
I have, and they sound like crap.
Well, okay, that's not true,
They
Anthony.
do.
I love the sound of a supercharged 5-liter
A
Coyote.
supercharger sounds great, but I think that,
Well, he said a Whipple.
okay, well, I'm saying the 5.0 in general, debatable.
You don't like the sound
Debatable.
of the Coyote?
No, I think
man.
it's okay. I think it all depends on the exhaust that gets put on it because
It's true.
it
Very
won't
true.
sound farty. It just sounds broken, depending on the exhaust you put on it.
Oh, we're starting fights out here.
I'll get in that fight.
That's
I'm okay
funny.
with it.
Oh, good. The viewership jumped up when you started getting all angsty about the exhaust. I love this. All right. So, yeah, a little bit of back and forth there on the F-150 lore. That's okay, though. You know, different strokes, different folks. I did love my 5-liter Jag V8 with a supercharger, which, you know, was developed around the same time as the Coyote. And Ford owned Jag at the time, so there was definitely a little overlap in terms of the tech that went into both those engines. And yeah, I think it was
I didn't
making
know that.
510 stock, so that was a healthy number. Anyway, let's see. Fine detailing. Shout out to the best in the biz, C.S. Lucas. That's customer service,
Appreciate you,
Lucas,
man.
to you.
That's me.
Yeah.
The guy. What can I
Look at all
say?
this love. They keep the love going. All right. Alex Dewar, Low View Raptor Towel. All right. Well, Mike G, in what reality is Anthony living that a V6 sounds better than a V8? Mike G, there are different things that people look for in sounds, but I agree. On the whole, V8s sound better more often
here's
than
the thing.
V6s do.
I think that at idle, a V8 will probably sound better than most things.
Yeah,
a
the
V8
rumble.
sounds nasty, especially a V8 with a lope, especially a V8 that is, you know, cammed, right? Yes, I agree with you. It sounds absolute dirt nasty. But rev it. Rev it and then be like, how annoyed are you hearing that? You're annoyed, but since it's loud, you automatically convince yourself that it sounds good. It doesn't sound good. It's all about the tone is what makes something sound good. That's it, right?
There's so many
a
variables
Ducati
that
sounds-
go into why an engine sounds the way it does.
A
Though.
Ducati
The
sounds
firing
good
order,
because
the
a Ducati
harmonics
sounds
of-
great because again, you get that aggressive. It's really sharp. It's really crisp. You get that nice throaty, you know, especially on that throaty sound on a twin, right? But like, or even like a V4 would sound really good. But like, you get into cars. Yeah, no, 4-cylinder is probably going to sound the worst.
What is it that
I
the
mean-
Honda VFR
Hey, I've
that
heard
is
some
a
good sounding
4-cylinder that
4-cylinders.
sounds like an 8
Come on,
because of the way it something
Yeah.
about the was it like third or fourth order harmonic? Like there's something about that, like music science, sound science that goes into why things sound the way they do, and there's something extremely satisfying about a Honda VFR.
I don't know.
engine
Do you?
now.
I mean, so here's the thing. In Japan, how many people are putting? Japan's pretty nitpicky about everything that they do, right? Have they ever made a loud V8 from Japan that would be untasteful like we would do in America here?
You
Probably
can get
not.
a nice rowdy Lexus Toyota V8.
Okay, you can, but I'm saying, are they putting an exhaust? Are they making it sound like it has a V8? Negative.
Yamaha tunes the exhaust on those. It sounds amazing.
But it doesn't sound like a V8 on it.
give me an IS 500. Give me a Lexus LC.
Yeah,
any
so
of those,
Dane, but
a
those are fine tuned to sound like an exotic, not a muscle car. So when you say, I'm saying when you take the V8,
okay, so
and
you're
try
talking about okay.
I'm
so
going
it's a
after
little different.
specifically the fact that people are comparing a V8 truck to a V6
They
and
want
saying
a
that the
big,
V8 sounds better.
lumpy, cross-plane,
Yeah, but
cammed, kind of
have
thing.
you ever heard a V8 truck fly by you and be like, "Wow, that sounded so good"? Never.
You realize who you're talking. A lot of these people probably do think that.
Maybe in the freaking backwoods, but I'm talking in modern day traffic.
Oh no! Now we're just upsetting people.
I'm telling you, it's true. It comes down to a
this.
taste thing, and it doesn't matter what the heck's in it. If it sounds decent for what it is, yeah, I think it's the best.
See, this is
you
the
can
kind
do.
of talk I would have on my stream, but
Yeah.
since we are on a detailing
Anyways,
stream,
I'm not
I
gonna-
got to keep us on topic here.
I'm just
It
gonna
is
make
my
more
job.
people upset. I'm gonna get out of here.
I would love to keep talking about that though another time, certainly. So we've got, does Anthony plan on using his truck as a truck? Hauling boats, horses, or hay rides?
Ooh.
You think you're gonna pull a float with it?
No, these aren't really meant to tow, right? You're not supposed to tow with a Raptor. It's not meant. That's not what it was meant for. I think the fact that people do tow with Raptors, I think it's pretty crazy. It's pretty baller, but I think it's because they have no other option. But I mean, if you're gonna tow, buy an F250, buy an F350, buy a different truck.
There we go. You have to remember too that when it comes to exhaust notes, Anthony comes from the tuner world. He's actually more fascinated with like Honda 4-cylinder sounds than with
But
a lot
I don't
of
think a
other.
Honda 4-cylinder sounds good. I don't even think that sounds good.
I think from inside the car, when you get the VTEC crossover, good intake noise, they can sound really great.
Well, that's more so the engine,
But
not
on the outside,
exhaust.
people will just laugh and say fart can, whatever, something. And that's because
We're in a
their
whole battle right
impressions
now.
have been painted
People
by
make 'em
many a
look
high
bad,
school
though.
parking lot exit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, we've all
so many
seen that.
bad ones out there. It just kind of, the accessibility.
Unfortunately, you see more bad ones than good ones. So.
Well, and yeah, like when it comes to engines, it's like, okay, how often do you hear a V12 in person? Not very often, unless it's like a really depreciated Mercedes S-Class or
Right.
something, in terms of like how common it is to run across it. But yeah, you get it. All right. David Boyce. Matt Mormon coming on the Detail Grind podcast tomorrow. The cat's out of the bag.
Should be a good one.
All right. Blowing up their spot. He's not wrong, though. Let's see. Jimbo Slice saying for foam truthers. That's right. For the people out there who just have to figure out between a rinseless or a soap wash, what do you do? DIY with Kane says, any word on if Koshemi will ever offer RRW in a 5-liter? We asked him that before, and we actually asked him that during TRCMA. Somebody asked that.
Did they?
And I think the implication was it's not really necessary, but
Yeah, I'm not sure. Do not have any insight on that.
What's that?
Kosh ever offering RRW in a 5-liter size?
Don't know. I don't know.
yeah,
They haven't told
sure.
us if they are.
pretty sure
Yeah.
they asked during TRCMA, and the response was they hadn't really considered it because they didn't feel it was necessary for
Yeah.
people who are using it. It doesn't seem like you'd need that much usually, but you never know.
Well,
the demand is
cost
there.
would be
Good
the
reason
cost
out
would be pretty astronomical, I think, too.
Yeah, it may
it's
not be
like,
the most.
If you take
cost-efficient.
5 liters of Magic Wheel Cleaner and price that out, dude, it's not cheap.
Yeah.
All right, when is that M22 dropping? Asked Dark Dragon 525.
I think what Anthony was saying was sometime May-ish.
May, yeah.
May.
All right.
Stay tuned.
There we go. And fine detailing. Ask me my thoughts on foaming rinseless.
I actually did just watch your video, Ryan. That was pretty funny.
So that's fun. We've got Mark Stock U with an awesome mullet picture. Is it safe to agitate? Optimum Pro Tech. Optimum Polymer Technologies. My brain. The PTs are getting mixed up. Touchless Decon wash on a coated car for a heavily dirty vehicle.
Yes.
In my case, Diamond ProTech 36. So he did say ProTech. I was just
Yeah.
frazzled
Nope,
in the brain.
totally fine.
Yes, you're fine. Neil White, fine detailing. What are your thoughts on foaming rinses? He literally just took him at his word. Okay, I'm going to ask you. Jimbo Slice, I've never tried rinseless. What's a good entry-level one to try? ONR? Yes, ONR. ONR is kind of the OG. I mean, it's where it starts. There'll be people
It's
who
tried and
argued
true.
some product or another maybe came before it, but I think O&R is the first, like, really established, does exactly what you want out of a rinseless, and it's continued to evolve since its creation. Dr. G made a banger, and it kept it that way.
Me personally, been using Hero a lot. Their new scent,
Hero's
freaking
new
nailed
scent
it.
is freaking awesome.
So
though.
good.
I feel like in the last 2 years in particular, the rinseless like market has exploded.
Oh yeah.
But as far as a place to start, I mean, O&R is a place where a lot of people start and they end up stopping there because they're happy with it. But if you're, interested in different smells and stuff, I get it. Try out some others, give it a try. But to start O&R, you can't go wrong there. Easy peasy. Josh, OG Drying Aid is now available on Amazon. Thank you, Josh.
Yes, sir.
I wonder if that's Brodel. Slick Auto Styling, gonna keep it real, Jumbo. They're all good. Just depends on what you like most. Protection, slickness, cleaning power. Yeah, I mean, in the case of getting acquainted with rinseless washes, I would steer towards one that does not have protection in it. You just want to get used to the process. I mean, I know somebody may want to use protection with that, but I feel like using a non-protection laden rinseless is a good way to find out just how versatile a rinseless can be.
Yeah.
Because then you can use it as like the in-between step on lots of different things for cleaning and stuff where you're not leaving protection behind that gets in the way of what your real goal is if you want to use some other type of protection after. Jimbo, looking for something slick, good lubrication. Once again,
The new O&R. Everything
is
I've heard is
your
that it's super slick, got good lubrication.
Yep.
I'll throw in my 2 cents again. Hero,
Yep.
super slick, great lubrication.
Everybody's tried Hero, big fan of that too. And Absolute is one of those that people also really enjoy.
Yeah.
And it smells great. That's the thing about these rinselesses. They really got the smells down.
Yeah.
Slick Auto Styling, Absolute, and Hero are super slick. Agreed. I do hear a lot of good things about Absolute. Jimbo, that's because there are a lot of good things to say about it.
If Sydney was here, I'm sure she'd say,
Yes.
go that route. Get a gallon.
Absolutely. Jamie Ford, what pads would you recommend for headlight restoration? Looking at using PNS compound and polish.
I usually go like Group has yellow wool. That usually gets pretty much everything I need done. And then if you want to finish it up, get like a yellow foam pad.
No,
Yeah.
you're pretty set that way. Then Slick Auto Styling, in my opinion, I've only tried 5 or so. Absolute is the slickest one out there. It says Slick Auto Styling. Slick might know a thing or two about
He may.
slickness, so
I like it.
But that is true. Absolute really knocked it out of the park when it came to slickness. Neil here, Neil Natick. Using the Koshemi product line, what is their drying aid, and is it safe to use with your drying towels? What should I use for a deep clean on my car if we want something stronger than GSF?
So they have a few different products that you could use for drying aid. Like I know they have Quick and Shine, Quick Finish, and Finish Spray Exterior, so FSE. Out of all those three, I would honestly guide you towards FSE. And one reason I really like FSE is it does have a little bit of a built-in lime scale remover. So if you do
That's
have
the
any,
whole point of the product, as
Yeah.
opposed to a regular quick detail.
yeah.
It's
So
awesome.
that one, if you are dealing with hard water, or like a lot of times, like if I have customers that I know I'm not going to be doing a correction or a coating for, things like that, it's just an extra safety net to make sure that anything that I may have left fresh, I can just remove that during the drying process, and actually has a good smell. Doesn't have an overwhelming like vinegar smell from the lime scale remover. So FSE is what I would say to go with.
Yeah, and he's also asking one other point on FSC. The other thing that makes it different than other water spot removers is the fact that it is essentially a quick detailer. So the nice part is using it like a water spot remover. You can remove those water spots as long as they're fresher, newer.
Yeah, right.
And then you can follow up by not having to do anything other than wipe it off because it's like a quick detailer. You don't have to neutralize it the way you would with other water spot removers.
Oh, and as
So
far
that's
as
a benefit.
and then to address his, is it safe to use with his drying
Yes.
towels? Yeah, absolutely. I've never ever had an issue with FSE doing any sort of clogging. I don't even think there's any protection in it.
No,
so
it's,
you should be totally
yeah,
safe.
it's fine. Totally fine. And then to answer your second question, what should I use that's more of a deep cleaning product than GSF? That's where you might look at like Active Foam or something.
Yeah.
Super Foam is getting kind of crazy up there, but Active Foam is like,
And we have it in a 1 liter
Very
size
friendly.
now, so you don't have to commit to a full 5 liter.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Also, Active Foam smells great.
Sandalwood smells
yeah,
great.
it's nice. And we've used it many a time on some very dirty vehicles. It works excellent.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, you shouldn't have to use it every time. It's definitely more for like those really cruddy vehicles and stuff.
Yeah, definitely
But,
an as-needed product.
Yeah, it's where it's needed. It's the deep clean move for sure. Jimbo Slice, actually looking for a rinseless to add to my wet sanding water when I restore headlights. Something with good lubricity and also clean up the car when I'm done. Man, O&R is the answer there. That's what I'm saying. Like, O&R I've used when wet sanding headlights. I've done all that stuff with it. I'll shout it out. Because it's not going to hurt anything.
Yeah.
It's just a safe bet.
Yeah,
You
the
look
last
like you had
couple-
something else to say on that, too.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, like, good, like, clay lube dilution for most rinseless, like 128 to 1.
Yep.
Works phenomenal.
Yeah, and if people are feeling like a little froggy, they can go 64 to 1 if they
Yeah.
want that stronger.
But it's really not
dilution.
necessary.
No,
Like,
it's
you
really
really
not
are
that.
good with 128 to 1, I
Yeah.
promise.
And Slick, again, they'll all do just fine. Support the brands you like. But I think in terms of versatility, that's where like O&R really stands out, is because you don't have to worry about it impacting adding protection from another product or anything after the fact. All right, Alkaline Toe Pad. Dan, popping in. Hey, man. What polish/pad would you recommend for removing 2-year-old Diamond Body 36 from a 2-year-old Expel paint protection film? Or should I do something different to prepare the surface? Will polishing harm the self-healing of the PPF?
So polishing PPF can always get a little dicey because you can impact, like if you polish off the finish of the PPF and you do happen to like ruin it, then you unfortunately do need to get that reinstalled. So it's always
Yeah.
a little dicey. So I'd always start with the least aggressive method possible if you absolutely need to polish it. So in your case, maybe even a finishing foam pad or like a yellow foam pad from Rupes, and then like a super light cutting like polish basically, and that should help remove what's left. Or you can also even just try, if it is at the end of its life, you could try panel prepping it, see if that does anything.
All right. Then I got Slick wondering, is MSN coming back in stock?
Yeah.
There we go. Any idea how soon?
I think last I heard we have a co-shipment. Keep an eye out by the end of the month. Also, what you can do is if you do go onto the product page, we have a button on the product page that you can click to notify you when it
Yes.
is back in stock. So I would
More people
definitely
need
do
to
that.
use that tool
Yeah.
because it is very
It's a
handy.
great tool. So if you do that, then you'll definitely be notified right when we have it back in stock. But from my knowledge, ETA probably end of the month-ish.
Excellent. And then I've got X6M Ghost. The final details was literally the only segment I missed.
That was one of the best segments. Come on.
What did they come out with that's new? My apologies.
So they don't have anything new yet.
new packaging.
New packaging, new labeling, basically just kind of rebranding and
Because the
yeah.
original stuff had been around for quite a while at this
Yeah,
point.
it's like 8 years
and it was
old or
time for a
something like that.
refresh. So, yeah, I got a facelift.
so
but
nothing's changed with the formulas, just new bottles, new logo, updated branding basically.
Glenn in my ear had a very good point that you guys should keep an eye out here on the Rag Company channel for more drops from TRCMA where we're releasing the individual segments as their own videos. You notice what we did earlier this week with the armor detail supply video. That was a segment that happened during TRCMA during the 8-hour live stream, but not everybody wants to watch a whole 8-hour live stream. We get it. So we
cut it
are
down.
editing into new videos some of those segments. They get some new angles, fun stuff, and yeah, they're getting the full video treatment, so you can expect to see more of those here on the Rag Company channel as well. And don't know for sure, but I believe that The Last Detail will be getting its segment brought out as well, so keep an eye out eventually for that. Might be a few weeks before it appears, but yeah, never say never. Otherwise, go back to the TRCMA stream where you can watch it happen, and yeah, I would recommend checking it out because Jace is a great guy.
Jace is the man.
And the products, they've always been excellent. That's never been a problem
Oh,
with The
yeah.
Last Detail.
That's like a staple.
Day
in my
4
lineup.
in the afternoon. That's what you're looking for if you want to go back to TRCMA.
It's quite literally the last detail of TRCMA.
Yes. I got Joey here saying, that's a cute step ladder.
Doing what I can, man. This is like
Joey, we're not all as tall as you. I don't know if we need to reiterate this.
We need to get a gorilla ladder in here.
this is really like honestly like rinseless washing this truck. Probably one of my least favorite things. I don't know if I would do this again. Like I'm not trying to be like a diva about it, but it's just. I guess if you didn't give a crap, it could probably go pretty fast. But it's because I care, and I'm like, well, there's just a lot of stuff here. I think if I was 2 feet taller, this probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. But yeah,
Joey, we need you here, buddy.
Yeah. We had Joey's height.
Joey also says, with Optimum No Rinse version 6, the water kind of separates and sheets off the panel much more than earlier versions, making the drying process even easier. That's a good point, Joey.
Yeah, I haven't used it yet, but Joey did send me a video of it kind of sheeting. And
I saw that video,
it's kind of pretty interesting. Makes me want to try it.
And as you know, guys, we're in the last 5-6 minutes of the stream here, so I'm going to try and get through your questions as best I can. I got one more page after this page I'm on here. We are working on it.
Appreciate you, Steven.
Yes, big appreciation for Steven here. Just starting to get into detailing after I bought a new car. You guys are very informative, and I appreciate all the great advice. Steven, that's why we do this, man. I hope you enjoy, and yeah, be sure to give us a like while you're at it. But also, if you have any questions, we're here to help, so ask away. And if you miss it on this one, we can always get you on the next one, or you can pop into the Facebook group where it's Q&A all week long. You can
if you need immediate help, you can always send an email to support@theradcompany.com, and I may answer your questions.
This is a good time to plug customer service. Lucas, busy guy. Alex Stewart, Dane, I have no idea on the history of the Excursion. I'm guessing a new to him that was previously neglected. That's a nice way of looking out for the owner. Yeah, you definitely didn't do this. It was some other guy.
That's what they always say.
Yeah, that's what they always say. I just bought this thing. Registration says you bought this 10 years ago.
Right.
Blue Line. Just used Stout on my wife's RDX. Oh my God, absolutely the best coating I've ever used. Let's see the durability on a daily driver. I have no doubts about it. Definitely need a tiny bit of practice with it.
Yeah,
no,
Stout, awesome. I will say I think Stout was a huge improvement over Legend. Legend's great, but Stout was just super easy to use, super slick.
The point was they put a buttload of solids in it, like crazy amounts of solids in it. So it was going to be kind of a challenging product, but it was the closest thing they would offer to like what other companies offer is like a pro coating where it's like kind of behind a paywall where it's like for the people who are authorized installers. Right. It was that level of coating, but that's kind of what Stout's aiming for here, and it's easier than Legend was, but it does just as good a job.
And kind of to your point, as far as like the pro versus consumer availability, like I think my little experience with Stout is very similar to my experience with like the ADS Pro coating. I honestly think Stout might be a little bit easier to apply, so that's another fair. Bonus.
No, that was something they worked hard on with Stout. I remember them mentioning specifically the ease of use was a big factor.
Yeah.
And yeah, Blue Line here. High spots almost immediately sometimes. Maybe I didn't spread it in enough. Very easy to apply, though. My go-to coating now. No, and that's what happened to Joey when he didn't he didn't follow instructions first. He just like went for it, and then he got schooled on it. He listened to Sydney, and Sydney showed him actually it's supposed to work more like this. Now he's had a different experience with it. It's awesome. So yeah, he's Stout certified. Yeah. Not that has to be a thing, guys. Like if you take your time and you follow the instructions and like how to use it, and just not getting ahead of yourself with it, it is an awesome experience. Yeah. So shout out to those of you who are learning about Stout in real time. Does that truck have two different color calipers like the King Dane Jag? Oh, man. Yeah, I had the McDonald's calipers. I had them yellow on one side and red on the other. Because red was the original factory color. And I was like, oh, but what if they were yellow? Because my car's green now, and that's fun.
Then you never finished the job, Dane.
Nope. Because I did it. One side of the car got one way. The other side of the car got the other way. Because when are you ever going to take a picture that captures both sides at the same time? You can't.
Oh, Dane.
All right. Anyway, that was my logic. I think it's pretty sound. Carlos Colley is an IK Foam Pro 12, able to spray a chemical that doesn't foam. Do I need to change the head?
Yeah, I get this question in CS quite a bit.
Use a multi-12.
Yeah, so I would say they designed the Foam Pro to foam and the Multi-Pro's variants to spray product as is. Mm-hmm. It's not as simple as just changing the head of the sprayer. So you'll change the pattern of the foamer, but you're still going to get a sputtering effect. Like, for example, if you put regular O&R in a Foam Pro, you can get it to pre-spray. It's just you're going to get this sputtering effect, and it's not as ideal as like an actual dedicated Multi-Pro that's designed for that. But yeah, there are videos and there are things out there where you can make it work, but I would recommend getting a Multi-Pro if that's what you're trying to use it for.
Yeah. Well, and I have promised the folks doing the switching behind the monitors there that I would be ending these Q&As on time going forward. So, unfortunately, there will be comments that get cut off. But I highly suggest, if you want to ask these questions, you want Lucas to answer, you want me to answer, pop into the Facebook group, the Rag Company Facebook group. Yeah. Ask your questions there, provide pictures, all that stuff. We are happy to help you there.
Yeah, we try to stay as active as possible.
Yeah,
in there.
keep the discussion going over there. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get to a couple more. I got Blue Line. Also used full send. Oh my God, absolutely best tire dressing. Also used it to self-level on the engine bay. Love it.
Yeah.
Then also followed Reflect Glass Finisher. Just used that too. Incredible. Weather here on Long Island, finally allowing me to use all the stuff I bought from you guys. Love all of it so far. Winding down my old inventory. Okay, that's a lot of love. So thank you for that, Blue Line.
Appreciate that.
Joey is saying, Anthony's truck sounds just like my GTI. It's wild. Yeah, Blue Line, use diamond glass coating, love it. Yeah, a lot of people really like diamond glass. Question, if you aren't liberal with the application amount, does it have a tendency to high spot on the glass?
I've never seen diamond glass high spot. Like that stuff it's kind of like a...
I don't think it can.
Yeah, like it's a weird thing when you use it. It looks like you didn't do anything because like it just disappears and soaks into the glass. It's a pretty cool experience.
Yeah. All right, and then I think the last question I can get in here before the clock buzzer hits. Alpha Tango, now that TRCMA is over, I'm going to shoot Lucas an email about coming to visit. I'll offer up my car for a Wash Wednesday if you folks would like to demo anything.
Sounds like a plan, Alpha Tango.
That sounds really nice, Alpha Tango. We would love for you to come visit. And yeah, that goes for anybody who's like a fan of the stuff or wants to, check out, see what the facility is like. We offer tours via Lucas or one of the Joshes. They can show you around. They can show you the cool store we got over here, MVP. Connor's a great guy who runs that. And yeah, this is my way of saying thank you for watching TRCMA today. This has been an awesome show. And I hope every single one of you got something out of it that you were looking for. And if you didn't, and you were just chilling, hopefully we answered something you didn't even think to ask, but now you have an answer to. Yeah. And if you'd like to keep the discussion going, I can't stress enough, please go over to Facebook. If you already got one, go in there to the Rag Company discussion group, and you can ask more questions there. You can provide pictures, and Lucas is active in there. I'm active in there. Anthony pops in from time to time. We keep it lively, so it is fun.
And one other thing, you should scroll down just a tiny bit, and then if you haven't already, hit that subscribe and the like button.
That was my next bit.
Share it with all your friends and family. Get them hooked.
Yes, share it with them, please. So hit that big old thumbs up on this video. We appreciate you bunches. And yeah, just keep the fun going.
Did you
keep
say
it going
we appreciate
you
bunches?
That's right. I'm throwing out bunches.
Love you bunches.
I love you bunches. That's right.
XOXO.
We're having fun. Anyway, guys, I've dragged this on long enough. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I know these guys do too. And I want you to have a great weekend. Until we meet again next Thursday, have a good one. See ya.
See ya.